of your perception. I think that is a state which is peaceful, which is peaceful and gives you that peace of mind. Because what should you worry about if there is nothing to worry? Of course, now many people say, yeah, but I have a child that I need to take care of. This is at the moment not the level that I mean. It's something different. It's a very deep level of feeling. You know it can't go wrong. Does it make sense? Like, there is no fear. There is no fear. There is no, in this field of fluctuation, when you have the up and downs, it's the same like when you have the life and the death still chronologically after another. All of these expressions for me is very, very similar. As long as there is movement, you will always be confronted with this idea of dualism, with the existence of like both sides. So, peace means there is something stable about you, no matter if around you things seem to fluctuate. There is still amongst the fluctuation something still there. And if you have access to that, if you can center yourself, if you can calm yourself, calm the mind, it means stop the movement. Stop the movement and you will enter at peace. You know, it's very difficult sometimes if people already have like preconditioned thoughts and they hear peace, there's nothing moving. It sounds boring, but that's not it. No, it's the same like you can either deny life or you let life flow through you. Both of them is called submission. Yeah. And I think a moment of peace, let's see if I can put it into this picture, is there was one time when I went to Thailand. I traveled there together with another master brother. And you know, even me being here sometimes in the monastery, knowing the surroundings, knowing this type of structured way of life, day in, day out. So also for me, when I then had some time to get out of the monastery and then especially going to Thailand. You know, Thailand sometimes translated also means free land. That Thai is like a free. And the reason is because it feels like this over there, just by the circumstances, make it easy for you to somehow have that feeling that you're in a land where you can actually quite do a lot of things as long as you abide to the rules without harming anyone. But one of these moments was that I sometimes like to ride motorcycle. So over in Thailand, I also had like a scooter that I rented. And now just imagine you are like driving with a scooter through a jungle, like really nice roads, really epic scenery. Like 40 minutes you drive up the roads until I ended up at the top of a mountain where was a restaurant or a small coffee located. And so I stopped over there and was standing at that balcony from that coffee, which was pointed towards the complete jungle valley. And then I was standing there having that coffee in my hands, watching down, seeing like the monkeys jumping around in the jungle there. The fog covered parts of the trees already, and I don't know how to express it. But this is like such a moment where something like boom starts to open for me, where I just say, this is like better than a movie. You know, you ride with your motorcycle through the jungle, stand on top of a mountain, drink your coffee and watch down while the monkeys are jumping around down there. And that is a moment where then suddenly something opens, where like it feels like that life is coming back into you. Yeah. And this is it, where that peaceful moment comes, where that peaceful moment starts to open up, because you are only in observation mode. There is nothing that you are adding to that scenery. There is no expectation that now you are comparing to, expectation met. No, it's the realization, that's it. That's it. That is this very special moment right now that's not going to happen anymore. But you just realized it. That is this feeling, which goes hand in hand with that type of peace. Because only when the peace is there, you are going to look out at something without adding anything. And because you are not adding anything, this is why you're completely open to receive. That maybe merges that word peace like the best if I would have to describe it.
Inner peace and being kind to other people.
Yeah, I mean, what you really need when you really sit in the silence is peace. And the only way to peace is through understanding and acceptance. The only way to that is through functional communication. Could you see what this really is? If you had a bunch of me's who were authentic and accountable and response-able, living into their supernatural beingness, being a head or a source of communing for community, the system is done. I'm the biggest threat ever. And I'm not bragging, I'm just saying that self is self. The universe is macro, as above, so below. Anything you see out there is in here. You have to have some ego in this life to go past all the tests and challenges when everyone else tells you you're crazy. If you don't have some level of ego, you're not going to get that done. You're going to fold. That's just what I found to be true for me. You can't worry about what you're going to lose. You have to focus on what you're going to gain. Your self-respect, your honor for your nature, and an ability to use your discernment to check other people in their ego. And nobody's above that program. Let's really understand that there's like many levels and moving parts to this. You know, you got to have the understanding with the discernment, and you have to have the application with enough ego to check someone else's ego when they want to lead you where they want you to go rather than where we all need to go. There has to be some level of trust in oneself. You see, there's the refocus. It's not the inclination to be possessive, it's what are you trying to possess? Think I'm gonna be possessive over a person, place, or thing and lose my peace and my connection to that and my discernment? Absolutely not.
God damn it, Paul.
Because supernaturally, we're meant to be a certain thing, it would seem. We got to get into alignment with that. That's God's will, so to speak. And yeah, it's not always pretty. And it's not always what culture and society shows you. Oftentimes, it's the exact opposite. Let's get it out on the table. I love the game. Right? If you love life and you love the game and completion, you love talking about your thoughts and feelings because we're going to get to something through this shit one way or the other. You don't want to do this process. You don't want to step out completely into faith. You don't want to be radically fucking authentic to the point you might chase everyone away. Well, you ain't going to get to reap the benefits and status or reward of real man. You're going to be Pinocchio, fashioned in the wood shop, attached with the strings, lying your whole life with your nose growing. The system thrives off of beta males not knowing themselves and being in their position, not leading but following, and getting to the women through the benefits and privileges and turning that house into chaos against God's law and God's alignment. Why do you think they hate me so much and come up against me so much? Because I'm trying to free a whole bunch of motherfuckers from themselves and a generational systemic problem where we rebuke creation and our supernatural beingness for sophisticated, civilized society. But ultimately, there's an organization here within the seeming chaos. There's a bigger understanding that we can align with to move out of what we see here as so disempowering and beyond us. You know, there's a direct connection to internal and external space. They've proven that. So let's get really real with ourselves and each other. Let's reconcile the collective unconscious. Let's move into purpose and meaning and reconciliation, and let's co-create. They're gonna respect a motherfucker like me who does without for a while and sacrifices with discipline so they could build a future. Greetings, folks. We have a new Ouroboros friend here today, a new pet for our background area. We're just going to bring everyone in who's backstage. Why wait? Folks are hungry. Why wait? We got Stephen Martin, of course. Everyone's favorite tall, dark, and handsome African-American superstar football player, of course. And he is on the thumbnail today. And Steve, I just want to let you know that that's Magic Johnson pre-AIDS, okay? That's before the HIV. Because when I was doing that, I'm like, fuck, man, Steve. Like, by the time I was done, I'm like, Steve's going to get at me because I made him Magic Johnson. And it's kind of cool, but it's kind of not, right? But he did recover. So even like pre, during, post AIDS, he's still good to go. He's still an icon, a legend. And I want to make it clear there's no correlation there. Do you forgive me for that?
I didn't even know I was supposed to be upset about it.
That's why Steve's so good to work with. He doesn't even know what he's supposed to be upset about. See, I made it up in my mind. I was thinking too much. Go ahead.
No, I don't appreciate any correlation to Magic Johnson other than the greatness that he did on the court. But to my understanding, what he does off the court is not that good. So.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
I don't want to sell it out. I don't want to be the one to speculate and put rumors out there. That's not me. I just heard everything's not as good as it seems. That's all.
Right.
But that's anybody. Nobody's perfect. And I'm not chastising or nothing like that. But nonetheless, here we are.
So we got penile power here. We got broken system, broken trust. Broken system, broken trust has a video back there. I don't know if there's anything that you wanted to get into initially, Steve. He's got some court cases going on. He's got some video back there of a judge. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it was coincidentally he went to court and he started with me, this guy down there below you with the Zoom situation. And then he started applying what he was coming to understand, right? His own conviction that comes from within. That's not given to you. And he has a court case recently, and the judge's name, the administrator's name is Slaven, Slaven. So I find that to be, it's fascinating. And the guy has a Masonic Bible on the fucking stand with him, right next to the gavel. So it says Slaven, and then it shows the gavel and the Masonic Bible. I mean, you can't make this shit out.
It's to hide his double chin. It's to hide the double chin. I figured it out. He positions the camera because he's very insecure. And I'm not making that up. You would see in the video, but
we'll show the video.
All right. Well, we'll get to some of it. There's Mr. Slavin himself.
Look at him.
Yeah, he's quite the character. Like all these. I mean, aren't we all? You know, we're all kind of characters on this world stage, and you can't make this shit up, man. Like when I filmed the guy and then pulled up and his license plate was Ego 356. And then the other guy stopped. His name was Officer Lawcock, Lawcock. And now we have
as a judge. Yeah. How does this return full circle to you? You know what I mean? Like, how does it all come back and point to you? That's what I want to know.
Bro, at a certain point, the universe starts talking to you and everyone else fucking with you. And then they start going, You know, we thought Paulie Boy was crazy or smoking that good weed, but we've seen enough to conclude he ain't doing it. Right? Because I've been telling him, I'm just a part of it. I ain't doing it. You know, I'm like, I'm communicating this experience, but I'm not necessarily doing it all the way. Like I chose it, it chose me.
Yeah,
But let's get to it. Let's get to slaving, man.
Cheering you on. Yeah, he's there cheering you on. Look at him.
Home. Hey, Mom, can you come pick me? I mean, so now you don't need to remember anything. And if you just want to like, hey, Google, what's the largest mammal in the world? The largest mammal in the world.
Judge Slavin.
You're told everything you need to know right now. But if I wanted to know, I'd have to go to the library and look it up and whatnot, and do a decimal system. You got to figure things out. Where do you even look these things up? So nobody has that skill anymore. So when it comes to the law tube, there hasn't been like a real, like I haven't sat around and talked with other judges about their feelings about it, because it's only becoming more and more prevalent because of the COVID stuff. Because it was because of the public nature of things that we started to like broadcast cases, because you couldn't come in person, but the public has the right to see the proceedings. So that's where the whole I'm not.
That's not true. Okay, the quote unquote public has the right to be a part of any of these proceedings and to observe them to make sure that there's no corruption and fraud going on. So you can't necessarily cherry pick who you're going to give access to and for what reason, and use safety all the time as the prerequisite. I mean, this should be obvious.
Yes. Wait till he gets going.
Have to live stream. Okay. The state of Michigan doesn't require that we do. The courts that do, they do it because they choose to do it. So I have no problem with it, because you know what? I hope that somebody's watching and they go, oh, okay. Well, yeah, I didn't know that. Let's go. And they get some information, I like it because someone's watching. Like me, listen, I do my job. If anybody wants to challenge how well I can do my job, come with it. But there's a lot of judges who just aren't that good. And yeah. But like there's a reason why I was doing all the landlord-tenant cases. I do 80% of all the landlord-tenant cases here. Why? Because I actually know how to do landlord-tenant cases. I didn't have to know. I mean,
I don't know what this is, but this is almost like true Hollywood story behind the scenes. You're getting a look at what these guys do all day, every day, which is jerk themselves and each other off in a limited echo chamber venue where there's no opposition.
And it makes it even better. It makes it even better.
Who is this other Joshua? Please, you got to take a breath. I know you're excited. Slavin, me, Steve Martin, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Who's he talking to right now? Where's this out of?
That's the fascinating part about this interview. You can watch the beta guy. He's a YouTuber, and he's designated his genre. I think it's like LawTube or something like that, where they pull cases from YouTube and they examine them on his channel. So this dude is more than thrilled to be getting an interview with a hero.
Wait a second. You're telling me now, and this is what I mean, man. You're telling me, and I'm seeing more and more of this. There's just this broad out somewhere. She's got her own YouTube channel and she's an administrator. Is that what you're telling me? That they're now doing online presence and they got their own channels and they're sitting backstage having fucking coffee? And I can't believe what I'm hearing and seeing. They're now using the courtroom for their own purposes and for their own self-aggrandizement. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this.
Wait till it gets going. I promise you, it gets even way crazier. Watch.
Steve, you can't make this up, bro.
Dude, watch.
They'll go, you all can't come in, you can't open a case, you can't use the court for public purposes or private purposes, but we're going to monopolize the courtrooms and the court and use them for our own personal purposes.
He needs to monetize it. Yes.
Commercial purposes. We're gonna pimp and hoe in here. We're gonna have coffee and we're gonna run business out the back of the courthouse. I can't believe what these people. This is what I mean.
Yes.
Just forget about it at this point of them upholding God's law and doing what's true and correct. They're so far the other way. We got mafioso up in the court, just, pimping Owen and doing, they're selling steak out the back like Henry Hill was, right? Before they lit a match. They're selling wine bottles and fur coats and steak out the back while they're doing YouTube channel. You can't make and K-Far and the rest of these clowns will support it. What's wrong with Slavin? He's a nice guy. Why can't he use the court for whatever his own purposes are and aggrandize himself on YouTube while saying I and Joshua and others are bad people for recording proceedings and putting them on YouTube? You can't make this shit up.
So if somebody wants to vote for somebody or against somebody, they were like, why would I vote for this lady? She doesn't even know how to do the cases. Like, that's literally her job, and you don't even know anything about it. So why would I vote for that person to do something that they don't even know how to do? So you know what? I say yes. I think they should all be on YouTube, so everybody can watch and be like, oh, this one's horrible. She doesn't know anything. And also, if any of the other judges want to learn a thing or two, they're more than welcome to tune in and watch.
Look at this guy.
So in your
Narcissism dripping from him.
or other
The lizard tongue. The narcissism and arrogance is dripping from him. Because second, and this is why I say they're pimping, they're macking. He knows damn well in his narcissistic ego that all proceedings should be shown, like he just said. But when you go there and do it, he'll say, we're not going to turn this courtroom to a mockery. They're just trying to get you in your feelers and get you off balance and try to see what the fuck you're about and what you know. They're taking your temperature. They're all like that, right? They're just like what they say about me. When I go into the mode, when I go on here and I do what I do, they say I'm narcissistic and egotistical. I go, okay, I'm playing that up. I know you all don't get that. I'm doing a position and an energy and a presentment, and it's focused. And at times, I pimp and mac a little bit. And they do the same thing all day, every day. But they don't notice when they do it. And when they sit and watch them backstage talking, they can't read the person and the personality and see the real beyond the false that they think is real. Like the Tao says, they look and see the false for the true and the true for the false. Your thoughts, Steve, on any of that, on anything we've seen so far? Your own thoughts?
Well, first and foremost, they can do that. They can turn the courtroom into their personal whatever because you're not in court. You're in a tribunal. You're in a Coventry, and that they are administering your estate. And when they administer your estate, they can do what they want. It's their shit. And that's the reality of the thing. So again, as I've combed through and broken it all the way down, I've broken down the court that I'm in right now for my buddy Danny. And they're broken. They don't know what to do because they done had 3 hearings, have not had 1 arraignment, and they cannot do anything because I've stepped in as administrator. So when you actually understand what they're doing, of course they're going to get on TV and brag about it. That's what fucking Judge Judy been doing that for years. Judge Wapple, all these folks they're bragging about how they get away with flat out, I can't say murder, but they abuse the shit out of the authority they got. And that's all they're doing is showing you, we got so much authority, we don't give a fuck if you see it on YouTube or whatever. We're going to do what the fuck we want to do, and we're going to show you how we do it. Now, they're not going to tell you what the real rules are, because that's the part that's the secret. That's how they're able to continue to maneuver like they do. But the bottom line is they're just literally just flashing their dick in public. That's really all it is to me.
Yeah, he's basically doing the God of all media thing right now. Like look how good I am at what I do. Like, yeah, bro, I see you. You're pimping.
And he's basically saying that because YouTube is something I can't control, all the social media stuff goes out there, people push it out there, I'm going to go ahead and cash in on this shit too. That's what he's basically saying. And see, the thing is that there's so the water is so muddy because they throw so much disinformation. They throw actual information and then they pile it with something that is just absolute bullshit. And because you believe the true information because it's true, that's how they bait you. So now you're in following, I mean, you name your guru, your David Straits. I like the guy. He has got good stuff, but he's got stuff that takes you off that track. And
I don't like that motherfucker. I don't like most of them because in between whatever they're saying, they're going to start telling you Donald Trump's going to save you and to vote for him. How the fuck are you going to do a whole presentation like I saw that clown do and then end it with, we need to vote for Donnie Trump and support him
Because no
you
matter
know.
what they do, and this is the only reason I don't like him. The main reason I don't like him is because he's ex-CIA. I don't like anybody that's CIA. They're the ones that start all the wars. They start all the fights. They start all the wars. They start everything. They stir up the coffee. I honestly feel like they're on Facebook right now, just putting out a shit ton of fake people, and they're trying to get these profiles to look real, so that when the people actually do take over, they got a sloth of people that just come in and push the narrative that they want. And that's what I see this whole thing doing. Nothing they're doing is non-military. Everything they do is military. Just the fact the judge was in front of the 2 flags with the gold tassel tells you it's military. So that he can jump from 6 to 7 jurisdictions in one statement. So again, him doing this it's kind of a matter of time, is basically how I see it. It's just a matter of time before they start trying to exploit this shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, at this point, it probably the same thing applies on some level to CIA, but this person down there, at this point, saying you're ex-DHS is like saying you worked for Walmart. I mean, these folks have so many fucking employees, hundreds of thousands, millions of employees. It's no longer has that sort of allure and mystique to it. It's just like, you signed up to be an order follower and do their dirty work of the U.S. corporation and claim that it's Americano. And we all see
right through it. If you have a license of any kind, you are licensed by the U.S. corporation. So that makes you a military officer.
Snaps is losing his mind back there. He's flashing the screen. He's got your name already. So I guess we'll address this momentarily. If I have to, I'll throw him out. I'm not going to do this day in and day out, right? You're not going to bring yourself here every day to make sure Steve doesn't show up because we may have an energy and a chemistry and you want to like fucking destroy that, right? See, you all got a little demon in you. You all got a little undercover hater in you. And sometimes I got to pimp on you like Slavin to fucking break you that like bitch ass way, or I got to get you up out of my face, right? So
before you do that, or before Snaff starts on his, we know Luke 10:18. Yeah, that's a good point though. But I was curious to know, Steve, your thoughts on, based on what you just said. Yusef L, high frequency radio. He's got a lot of great stuff too. But it's the Trump tardism. It seems that some people just can't let it go, or maybe there's something else going on there. I don't know. I like a lot of his information, pretty much all of it. But then there's that Trump tardism.
The only thing and here's the thing. They have to leave remedy in all contracts. They don't want to go to Trump. They want to stick with Biden. That's what they want to do. But if they got to fall back, Trump is a fallback position. So with both of them, there's things you like about them. There's things you can't stand. And that's what they do with everything that they put out there. The thing with Trump, the remedy that they're putting out there is Nasara Jassara. The thing you got to do is read Nasara Jassara, because when you read Nasara Jassara, you see that they do not tell the military to stand down. It's talking $250,000 per person, removal of all your debt, and then you got a clean slate economically.
Yeah, that's the great reset, Steve. We know they've been fucking laying out the groundwork for that, and the slaves subconsciously, maybe they don't consciously know about it, they know subconsciously, they can feel it in the air like Beanie Siegel, and they love it. They want it. They think Great Reset's going to be just great for everybody, and
it will be to be the best slave you have ever been. You will be the best slave you have ever been on the reset. So by all means, they don't want, this is not their move. They don't like giving you your money. They don't like doing that. They hate it. That's why they're in there fighting with you about a $45, $55 parking ticket, because they want to get every dime out of you they possibly can. So the reality of the situation is just that you have to rise above and know that even the remedy is not a true remedy, not what the people really want or need. It's just a Band-Aid that's just being put on the ethos to get everybody to calm down. Because who the hell's not going to take $250K? Who the hell's, you're talking 95% of America, regardless of where you are. you're going to take that $250K. You're going to do it. And if you clear my debt, holy shit.
It's about relief, right? And to me, it's no coincidence the word relief is the word re-life kind of jumbled around there. So they're just giving you a new life, right? Just like they talk about the rebirth on the light side in consciousness and awareness, they're going to give you some relief. Oh, you're in debt, poor slave. Oh, you're suffering. Oh, you've been following our statutes, policies, and codes, and you're worse than ever. Oh, we got a re-life for you, relief. You know, it's called 5D, 5G. Interconnected smart social credit system, and tracking and tracing, and maybe some freezing of accounts if you're not a good slave. We know the fucking program, man. They've known it for decades.
But again, when you actually put it out there, there's nobody that's going to say no, except those that are truly woke. And again, you're talking about your debts are gone. You got $250 in your pocket. You still could go to work. You still can do what you want. All your taxes are forgiven. You are zeroed out. It's a hell of a deal.
But you're going to have to take something, like it always is. There's always a by the way. You're going to have to take something.
The by the way is the military doesn't stand down. And that's what needs to happen. If the military stands down, then the Constitution becomes the law of the land uninterrupted again. That's what has to happen. But it takes the majority. I don't even know what number it takes. But it takes the voting population to say, military stand down.
It's not going to happen. That's the whole point. They got us so deep in mind control from the public fool system that what it's going to take to get us out of this is probably not going to happen, because folks are not going to have the understanding. And if they do, they're going to be too cowardly and they're not going to buy into it. They're going to say, this seems fantastical and ridiculous. We're just going to do things as we've always done it because we're still here, right?
Well, I think the thing is that with Trump, the people who truly support Trump, I think 45% of the nation who truly support him, once the money shows up, then you're going to get another 25 to 30% run over there. There are people that just hate his ass. So that's not going to stop. But everybody's going to feel relief when they get that check. That's the bottom line. So, but my hope is, and I don't know, God's working. I'm not going to question what's happening. I just see it. I see it from my angle. I don't see the whole thing. But the way things are going, the way things are looking, neither one of them are going to win. And the people are going to find a way to win. And don't ask me how, because I don't know yet. But I do see that
the meek shall inherit the earth, Steve. You know how I feel about this. The meek shall inherit the earth. There is no the people win. There is chaos, there's controversy, there's civil war, there's world war, there's currency wars, there's trade wars, there's economic collapse, there's Greater Depression 2.0, and then there's new social credit system. And then on the periphery is a few folks who were called crazy, and they were wondering what we and others were doing, and we were kind of preparing and creating a Garden of Eden, if you will, as much as possible, away from a hell on earth, right? So while they lose their minds and lose their property and wind up harming themselves and each other and begging their masters for something to lick on, some of us will be out pretty much in the middle of nowhere, reproducing, recreating, recreation, right? And co-creating.
But that's kind of where I think that the what God's doing, in Lord knows in my life and what I'm going through in the battles I'm in right now, something's going to happen. Miracles that I cannot pronounce, but it's coming. And it's not going to be what anybody thinks, because I don't think God's telling anybody the full plan. He's just telling you what you need to know for those that are listening. Those that aren't listening, you're just deaf and you're going to get ran over most likely. So, I don't want to predict. I wish I could predict the future, because mercy knows I'd have did a lot of things different had I known it. But everybody's going to discover in their own way. But when the truth shall set us free, and neither side is telling us the truth. They're all lying. And then when people start realizing Trump's no better than Biden, Biden's no better than Trump, there's a good idea behind Trump, but it ain't complete. And folks like us will be sitting there saying, hey, we do understand that there's the complete total thought if you want to hear it. But if people don't want to hear it, don't force them. Because
this is already happening, man. There's already counties on Nevada where they've all got together and say, we're not enforcing this crap anymore. We're not listening to you and we're not enforcing it. If you want to come in and invade us, then come get us. And they haven't done it yet. So we know they're a bunch of fucking cowards. We know they're only strong at their fucking venues with their people behind them. We know they really don't want it. And we know that they know they're in the wrong and that others are in the right. So it's real simple. When you got Steve Martin and Paulie Boy and a whole bunch of other big fucking gorillas who are loving and peaceful, standing on what's true and what's right, and co-creating with community, communing with a higher sense of self and values and principles, we're done and over. Now it's your move.
Well, I was just saying about the monk with the peace thing, the thing that he was interpreting and saying about peace. Peace is, it's all about electricity and how current flows. It's positive, negative, and neutral. Neutral is peace. In that I'm not doing any action, positive or negative. I'm just at a still place because I'm letting the energy move around me and then timing when I move my energy. That's what we're doing. And that's all I'm doing at this point is moving the energy when it's time. And, you know, God's telling me, hey, do it here, do it there, stop, wait, do it here, do it there, stop, wait, do it here, do it. And that's synchronizing myself with the universe. And everybody's going to find that everybody ain't on the same thing. Everybody's got a different purpose for what God calls us to do. So find your purpose and then start doing that. I'm not the one to tell you what your purpose is. I don't think anyone is. That's between you and the Heavenly Father. That's what each of us have to do and figure that out for ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, okay, on a micro level, on a macro level, I believe we're all one self. As a matter of fact, that's been proven to me over and over again. You get your food the same way I do. You got to live the same way I do, whether you realize it or not. Everybody does. So if you don't have a direct source in all places in life, whether it's conscious awareness, Holy Spirit, or food and water, you're fucked. Right?
Mm-hmm.
In the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. That's the bottom line. Right?
Well, the bottom line is we can grow great together as opposed to as an individual. You can still have your individuality, but do a common good for your brother and sister. And that's what I think that we're truly meant here. I don't know of any multimillionaire, billionaire that was happy not helping somebody do something. The fact that you have a gift or you have a talent that you can showcase and show others and that others benefit from. I don't know anybody that's really successful that doesn't celebrate the people that they've helped. Whether they were good people or bad people, doesn't, you know, even if they're, you know, the mafia, they celebrate how they help their family. You know, they help somebody, even though they may have killed a person too. They're doing what they want to do for the people they care about. And that's the bottom line.
Yeah, but that's the point is we're making movies off real life situations and we got to start living like we're in a movie. This is real simple, bro. You get 10 people who are fucking legit and you pool your resources and you fucking buy a town in the middle of nowhere and you start something up, bro, and you get it going and you build it and people come and then they get basically, you know, chosen based on shared values and ideals, the same way you did from the beginning of time with a community. You just didn't let anybody in there because it was about profit. It was about shared ideals and intentions and outcomes. So, you know, we could keep talking all this shit every day. We can keep waiting for the fucking policy enforcement to get their act together along with the corrupt courts and slaving with his reptilian tongue. But, you know, again, back at home, back on the ranch, on the ground, we got to be the change we want to see. And that's not some cliche. That's the reality of it. That's the obligation and the opportunity that we're given at this time, as far as I see it. There is no individual purpose that is greater or bigger or more important than what it is I'm describing. And I'm going to go ahead and jump out the window and say that. I don't give a fuck what anybody's ego thinks and feels like. Because when it comes time, everybody from all the stratosphere are going to be in the same boat saying we don't have our products and services, or our products and services are toxified and we don't have enough money to heal ourselves anymore, right? Health is your greatest wealth. And that's what everyone keeps forgetting. So you got to be in a clean air, clean water source, clean environment, rid of electromagnetic energy and microwaves and all the rest of it as much as possible, and free from a bunch of slaves in the mind, heart, and energetically who want to hold you back or pull you down. right? And that's the big challenge. A lot of folks are not willing to leave their goofy bitch. They're not willing to leave their fucking toxic family. They're not willing to leave their fucking career and all the rest of it to recreate and reproduce a society and a culture that is prosperous and has core values and principles, right? We all just want to get in where we fit in, go along to get along, lukewarm, half-ass, and fence ride. It's not going to get it done. And I'm talking to me just as much as I'm talking to anybody else out there. All criticism is self-criticism.
I agree with that. I mean, the only thing I say is that because all this stuff has been created, it's for us. So we can be the masters of self and the construct that's been created for us. So that's where I'm grinding my wheels to take over what was created for us and take it back and uncorrupt it, because all of it was created for the good. All of it. They just let it go get created, and then they corrupted it. And then upon that corruption, they make it look evil when it's really not. It's really for the good. The biggest animal, the IRS, they're a two-headed dragon. If you know how to command it, you can redirect the IRS to actually work for you. But how many people know how to command it? Very few. And then you got to have the courage to command it, because if you don't command it right, it will turn around and bite you. So these are the things that we, again, you gotta be a person of courage, and courage is a rare commodity these days, because most folks just don't have it, because they condition it out of you. They don't want you to be courageous. They want you to watch Sylvester Stallone, Schwarzenegger be courageous. You don't be courageous. You do what you're supposed to do. You do as you're told, and that's true servitude. So we got to wake the fuck up and start doing what we need to do. And it's the day-to-day. All politics is local. So win your local governance. You're not about trying to get with Trump or none of them, because they're not doing shit for you. Win your stuff locally, because that's how you start taking command of everything. Take command of your town. But you got to get like-minded people that are willing to do it. You don't need many. It's less than 1% that control any town, county seat, or anything like that. It's just a handful of people, but they know what they're doing on the backside, and they know the hidden rule book that they don't show. And so that's what you need to be gaining knowledge of. So that's my 25 cents.
So we got some other folks up here that haven't really got into it yet. Henry, do you got anything that you want to add or speak about? I know Snafu Snaps has Steve's name there, so he's looking for some attention as well. Your thoughts, panel members?
I'm just here to say hi.
Okay. Well, hi. Snafu, what do you want, man? Let's get it over with. Let's get in and get out here.
Just watching Daddy and Steve Martin put some optics out there,
Okay.
I don't know what do you got? Why? I mean, you act like I don't know what your whole thing is. You jump all over Nike like it's a big thing. I got Adidas stuff too. You want me to wear that too?
No, I'm sure about that. I just find it interesting that, especially someone who's contracted through Nike, knew how big of a PR hit it was for the satanic shoes to be pushed, and with blood in them, of course. Being the big Christian you are,
I'm not a Christian. Number one,
you just didn't,
Number two,
you and Daddy Cook.
My contract ended in 2005. That whole thing came out just a few years ago.
Yeah, I questioned about Nike being satanic, and you kind of really avoided it. You didn't know. You didn't know about that, which is really odd.
I don't.
Contract.
They don't. Guess what?
You made the statement saying you knew nothing about it. So I
don't.
Steve Martin, just cares. And then last night I heard we got the clip. Very new agey. You were kind of preaching it, but I'm just listening to you cook.
I mean, it's like me talking about your mama all day. I don't want to do that. I'd like to have a mature conversation. I mean, you got it like I'm a representative of Nike. They gave me a lot of shit. Do you know how much $50,000 gets you? It gets you a lot of shit. I still got
know
stuff that got tags on it.
I get it. Privately owned, government operated, big money, big tag. I get it, Steve. I'm just curious you didn't know about the agenda, being as Christian as you are, the satanic.
I'm not Christian.
Messaging, I guess.
I'm not Christian. I'm not
like
satanic.
the rituals in general that are out there, like, you know, it's all rituals, right? You know that. Sports in general, rituals.
I mean, they're creating rituals. No, they're creating rituals through sports. I agree with that.
Okay,
absolutely.
That's right.
But they're creating the rituals just to.
I have nothing against it. I mean, I'm not saying you're for it. I just was curious. You know, you didn't know about it, which most of the public did through the mainstream media, and you're contracted with them. So you figure Nike would take PR or some kind
what
of like
part of my contract ending do you not understand? My contract ended in 2005. What you're displaying is something that happened just a few years ago. I just got shit going back to 2005 that I still haven't taken the tags off because I haven't worn it. That's it.
That's not the point. The point was the satanic agenda.
You just said I did not know in 2005 anything about,
like you mentioned, right?
In 2005, I did not know anything about any satanic affiliation.
Okay, you're kind of making it sound like they only became satanically agendaed out,
bro.
And that the media relations, you know what I'm talking about? Media Pogo, right?
You know, I used to buy and sell. I used to buy and sell property.
Whether you contract them or not.
Can I tell you something? Okay. I'm not contracted with them anymore. Let me explain something to you.
Regular nobodies, just like you see the whole satanic thing. When we question, you said I don't know nothing about it, but blah. Now you're putting.
I don't.
Out.
No, I don't. I still don't know what you're talking about because I haven't done. Here, let me say this. Let me say this to you. Let me say it to you this way. When I used to buy and sell property, there was a person I bought a apartment building from, who turned out that he was child trafficking. Okay. I didn't know anything about it when I bought the property. I didn't find out till about 5 years after. Was I supposed to burn the house? Was I supposed to burn the apartment building because I found out about this? I mean, I had no clue. When you're doing business, you just do business, bro. And again, if you're not doing business, you don't understand that.
You're okay doing business with traders, frauds, pedophiles, or criminals?
No, I'm not. I would never knowingly enter a deal with anybody. I vet the deal. And guess what? They don't put on the deal, unless he was already convicted, they don't put on the deal that this is what he was doing. Not to mention his whole doing that business was hiding it. So I didn't know.
If someone came up to you, such as Nike now, or any of these people, satanic agendas, LGBTQ agendas, all this shit going against what I figure you might be. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything in stance of you, but you claim the Christian route, right?
No, you keep throwing that at me too. No,
okay, so
I'm not Christian. I'm a man of I'm a man of faith.
You believe in Jesus?
No.
Okay. Do you believe in a God or no? Just a higher being?
Yes.
You believe in maybe?
Yes, I do believe in a higher being.
Okay, but not Jesus or God, correct?
I just said God. I didn't say Jesus.
Are you Muslim?
No. I'm a man of faith, meaning I don't practice any religion because I understand I have God in me. And that's the God I'm trying to bring out and push into the world.
When you said you asked me, you said, you know how much 50,000 is? Yeah, man, I've turned down tons of money to not accept beast system agendas or deals.
I accepted it in 2005.
Not to accept
I
beast system agendas or deals.
I accepted it in 2000.
Optics. So if I'm going to buy,
Snafu, are you going to do this every day?
No.
I'm telling you what I did.
It's been every day so far that he's been here. You've done this.
You're just trying to continue to say that I'm openly advocating something I did not understand at the time, and to this day I don't have a full understanding of.
No, I said I'm confused how someone like you would have no clue when we first interacted about Nike and the satanic optics.
Because I was playing football, sir, and I didn't care about any of that stuff. I was trying to keep my job.
Optics.
That's how. I was just
Okay,
trying to
that's
keep
all
my
I
job,
said.
dude.
I get it. Keep
I
the
was
job,
not
money good. I get it.
when understand when I played. I'm not. I was no Pat Mahomes. I didn't have $400 million contract. I was happy to have the
I get it.
job, and I was trying to keep it. I was not that superstar guy. So that's just what it
get
is.
it. I just thought it was very odd because even no-namers knew about the whole.
Snafu, like a year and a half ago, you were jumping up and down with a Donald Trump hat and shirt on. So what are we doing here?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to hear his. Like I said,
Right. So he may not have like done everything perfect in life the way you thought he should, or maybe even the way he thinks he should have now. And that's kind of the journey, right? So are we going to do this every day where because he's a football player and has success, you're going to hate on him because you don't have shit still to this day and haven't done anything?
If Nike offered you a contract right now,
If Nike offered you a contract, you'd take it in 3 seconds and say, whose dick do I have to suck? Who are you kidding? Okay. I've seen you come on here with all types of fucking regalia that you bought, and you act like if they said, hey, we're going to give you 50 t-shirts to wear, you wouldn't fucking come on here with your filthy t-shirts you already buy.
I don't think so.
Let me ask you one. I got one that's I got a real one in my hands as of today. We just got we're requesting the offer from ESPN to do a show. Should I take it or should I vet them to see how satanic they are?
Well, if you take it, would you call shit out like this? The real optics on a show? No, because you'd probably never be called back on that show again. But I'm
asking you, what would you do? Would you even entertain it, or would you just say that? Oh, why should I take it? Hold on, they use Nike. Nike advertises a lot with ESPN. A whole bunch.
So imagine if Steve Martin gone up there and said, hey, you guys kept hush about the Nike satanic agenda and this little shithead keeps bugging me about it. You got a comment?
Right, but he didn't. And it hasn't happened yet. And he has no more. Hey, hello? He didn't. And he has no more contract with them. And you're wasting our fucking time, energy, attention right now talking about some shit that's already over with that you'd have done the same shit with, I suspect. You're so full of it. All you folks online sitting in your mama's basement or on Section 8 have some nerve trying to tell everybody who has an experience you don't have an option to have what they should do with it. Go fuck yourself. You're not God, and you don't get to judge him or anyone else. You got a hard enough time judging yourself accurately.
I'm just sitting here kind of with my jaw to the floor like, bro, why do you hate so much? And then what are you doing to make a difference? Are you doing anything other than just hating?
The answer is no.
No, you just asked me what you should do or what, you asked me a thing. Paul ripped it. I told you what you could do with opportunities like that, especially if you, quote, are woke now or waking up, standing against the system, doing your thing with, you have a power and availability to cause, in a way, I don't want to say a viral.
Yeah, no. Finish the rest of that fucking statement you were just about to make. Don't curate it halfway through. You have the power to cause chaos, and that's all you want, because you're just like your masters, a chaos theorist. Just like when he and I are talking about the law and legal and consciousness, you keep throwing in shit from years ago because you want to cause chaos and you want him to get up on a microphone and start causing chaos. It's not going to lead to anything or solve anything. You just want to watch the world burn and watch everybody dance. You're a protagonist, right? You're an antagonist. You're not a hero on the hero's journey. You're a side character. You're a Joker creature. You get it?
I love how you actually boot me and then say my narrative for me, Paul. That's actually I did.
Because you were just about to say you have the ability to cause chaos, and you stopped because you knew what the fuck was going to happen. You all reveal yourselves too quickly to double back, and for me to not see what you already revealed, right? And you knew what you were doing right there when you were going to say it. It's not your narrative. It's what you do regularly. It's not a narrative. I'm narrating your actions.
No, you're absolutely right. I was going to say cause chaos against the evil.
I know what you were going to say. I'm inside of you, just like your masters are.
Media
A different way, right? Don't get a dirty mind on that. They're up inside you, up in your belly. I'm inside of your mind and heart, right?
Like the satanic agendas with media relations are fucking beyond. The lies with media relations are beyond. And
but you're not going to change that with just a expression or just not wearing Nike. You're not going to change that with just one or two things. It's going to take the full massive appeal and power of God to make that change, not me. I can be a catalyst, and that's what I'm trying to do, but I got to deal with what I got to deal with. I can't, the system's not going to change overnight just because I said so. I'm not that, I don't have that much power. I can have influence, but if I create the show that we're going to create, if I create the show that we're going to create, then I'll have a platform once I run the show. But guess what? I got to do the show the way they want it done. That's what I have to do. Now it's up to me on how much I'm going to compromise the narrative I'm trying to push to meet the demands of what they're asking for. If they say, hey, we got you $500,000 in sponsorship from Nike, what do you think I'm going to do? Or take zero? I mean, you got to survive, dude. Trust me.
Are you able to tell us about the show?
Well, I want to get the offer before I can say for certain about the show, but I'm just talking about it in the subject matter which he's discussing this, because it's like you want to work and do things that are honorable and decent. And as long as I'm not going in the back room and they're saying here's your initiation, I'm not doing that. I can affirm that 100,000%.
Okay, I get it. So you're basically
I'm not going to do.
As long as I just
if you do this again after today, you won't be allowed here. And I don't care if you threaten me striking channels like you do everywhere else. I'm tired of going over this fucking loop with you and the rest of the tards. Keep up, or get the fuck out. I'm tired of it. Do you get me?
And the thing is that you actually have a challenging basis, which is fine. I can take the challenge. That's not a problem. What I have a problem is you keep going back and trying to find another way to make me be wrong.
Yeah, he's trying to convict you and indict you with no fucking facts or evidence, and it's embarrassing.
And if you had something more, I could, but I'm addressing what you're saying. I'm going to go in. I'm not, when we get down to doing the show, trust and believe. I'm not going in the back room with Puffy. I'm not going to Epstein Island. I'm not doing any of that shit. If they want me to do those things, I won't do the show, period. It's over. But taking sponsorship money, say we got sponsors from Under Armour, Nike, this guy, bro, come on.
That's part of playing in the NFL, man. He wouldn't know that. He can't afford to go to a game, let alone play in the NFL, because he can't even run 5 yards without huffing and puffing. He wouldn't know what that's like to be successful or professional or have to sometimes wheel and deal. And again, you're not there now. You're not doing it now. And what would be the difference? So let's say he's all-star football player right now. So you're going to sit there and fucking harangue him day in and day out when he's talking about us enslaving ourselves in the mind and heart and spirit and at the courts? It makes no motherfucking sense. In a way, you'd want him to be sponsored by Nike so he can run around and run the sob sit in quotes, like they all say, lingo, and we can get somewhere with this. Imagine if somebody sponsored by Nike and the rest of it was talking rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith. What is your problem exactly?
That would be different, and that's what I asked him about. That's exactly what I said.
That's exactly what's going on right now. A football player who was sponsored by Nike is here today. Hello? A football player who was sponsored by Nike is here today and has been here multiple times to talk about and live about this information. Why are you going back in the past to indict and convict him and wasting our time? You won't be allowed here shortly. I'm telling you. I'm begging you. I have been for hundreds of days. You're not going to be allowed here until you shape up or ship out. Until he's on the fucking boat with P. Diddy getting popped in the booty. Until he's in a fucking dress like Tyler Perry and the rest. I don't want to see and hear about it. Till you got the goods, shut up and go away or be part of the conversation.
And you have an interesting perspective, which I do want to entertain, but because you keep going back over trying to make me a villain, that's non-productive. I'd accept any challenge.
What I was doing or said, if I can explain myself with you, I said
we don't need an explanation. That's the thing. I don't need an explanation.
Just operating with honor. Just operate with honor. Treat me like you want to be treated.
Treat him like you'd treat him if you were in the room with him and he was possibly going to hoe slap you with that 12-inch hand of his.
Okay. All right, here's the deal. You see all these Jesus freak guys who are sponsored, and these big companies don't really like that. But they have gone to PR moves to make it to where we could build around that because he's not going to change, right? Okay. So they work with it, even though they're not about it. I know how this shit goes. My question to you, Steve, is now that you've understand, and okay, we're not even talking about Nike. We're talking about just media relations, the things in general. Are you going to be take all the fucking money in the world working with these systems? I get it. Are you going to be one of these worlds that stands up and makes powerful statements, just like you said earlier, right? In that sense, like for instance, this, like, the satanic agendas in any instant, or, you're just going to be quiet and just take.
You're fucking babbling. Get out and stay out. Go ahead, Steve. Continue. Sick of this fucking kid and his nonsense every motherfucking day, bro.
That's the worst part is he actually has an inquisitive perspective, but he doesn't finish the thought. It's like he just wants to throw darts and doesn't want to finish the thing. It's like, dude, you actually got pretty challenging
he's never going to get anywhere in life or do anything, so he's going to live through you and everyone else on the internet. I'm tired of it. You go get in the NFL and then show us all what to do when you get there. We'll wait.
Well, to be clear, my agenda is to live. I have to feed myself, feed my family. So that's priority one. And you got to do some shit that you don't want to do. Let me break through my cases and get full access to my estate. That's another story. Then I'll put up exactly what I want, exactly how I want it. But until I get that, I gotta dance in this game just like anyone else. So it is.
Yeah, well, the person down there says, the person, you don't have to explain yourself, Steve. That's it's the same fucking gambit with this shit over and over. I know you're like me. You have the patience of a saint, and you'll explain over and over again for his benefit what he doesn't understand about life, and it'll never get anywhere because he's incomprehensive. He's not able to comprehend what's going on at any time. And no matter how slow and nicely and real you explain it to him, he continues with this crap. And the only reason I have the patience of a saint, as they keep saying, is because, like Steve, I see his value. I see his power. I see his discernment. He doesn't see it and use it properly.
There it is. So
it's like the coach, right? The coach could see everything in you. If you don't see it and know how to direct it, he can't put you in position. You're going to fumble the ball, bro.
The one thing they say in the NFL is oftentimes people cut themselves. You don't have to cut them. They'll cut themselves, and he just cuts himself.
So that's you, right? That's him. That's
you.
Pretty much.
Can we see Slavin a little more?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Let's get back to Slavin. I've thought that a couple times. Let's refocus here. We got Slavin basically telling us he's going to monetize on YouTube and use the courtroom to pimp and Mac. This is fascinating.
Oh, absolutely. I watch a lot of it.
Yeah. I remember you responding to that about the Uber helicopter ride. I had to make sure. I had to double check it.
That was me. That was me.
It was funny.
That's and you got to be careful because as long as I'm not making if somebody wants to, as long as like a case is done or it's like something like that where it has no bearing on like who wins or anything like that, and it's not an ongoing case because I can't obviously comment on an ongoing case, and I never would. But you know, it's funny because there's when we talked about that and the helicopter Uber, there just recently was, where did I see this? A drone, because I also like to keep up on like science news and things like that. A drone, like a one-man drone, where basically it's basically like a little mini droney helicopter-y thing that you can just jump into and like, boom, take it to work. And I'm like, all right.
I remember a few years ago reading a story about a guy who had a one-man gyroscope type thing.
Yeah.
And he was flying around Washington, D.C. and actually crash landed on the White House lawn. Now, that's...
All right, is there
ballsy.
more to this, Josh? Slavin's boring me. I like when he's like, you know, licking like a lizard and telling us all his dastardly ways.
Timestamps are 9 minutes, 13:30, 15, and then 26:30. Like amazing stuff at 13:30, 15 minutes, and then 26:30.
All right, let's hit it. Hit the timestamps and then let's move on.
Just take my robe with me at least to try to like grab some air. Anything.
You can turn your robe into a cape.
No, for sure. Or at least one of those flying suits if you get it big enough. But no, it's so
yeah, this is the thing about all these guys. They're just like a loom of slavery and the rest on here. These are failed drama students who decided to take a job in public service so they can act out every day and get paid for it. All right. He fashions himself like an interesting, entertaining, witty guy. You know,
Yeah,
he's got
swinging on his own nuts. He's swinging on them hard. Like.
So they wonder why I do the God of all media thing, right? I'm kind of playing up an aspect of self we all have, and I'm doing what they do. Like what I do as a joke, a bit non-bit, they're doing as an actual personality at court.
And they're not supposed to. You're not supposed to be a personality when you're a public official. You're supposed to be a public official.
Yeah, well, wait. He talks about it. He talks about that and monetizing. So, like,
this is the equivalent of Al Capone if he was a public servant, right? He's like, you know, he's gonna get out there in a flashy suit. You know, he's John Gotti. Look at me. I'm a person. I'm a persona. I've arrived.
I do check out a lot of just YouTube stuff because, like I said, I tutor people for the bar exam, and my daughter said, "Hey, you know, why don't you just put out your lectures on YouTube?"
He just lied, by the way. Do you notice how easy it is for them to lie while looking down at the floor? This is how they all get caught at a cop's interrogation room. These guys go, "Oh, I'm a judge. I'm whoever." They go to the interrogation room and then they look down and they go, "You know, I get on YouTube a lot because I'm like a real philanthropist. I'm always helping people and tutoring." They go, "Bullshit. You're on YouTube because you're a fucking drama queen and your videos are on there and you want to watch yourself be corrupt and laugh and giggle and pimp and mac. We know what you are. You know what you're about." He's just such a great guy.
For free? Like, why?
For free?
Like, you realize I get paid, you know, she's like, "No, I get that, but if there's one..."
Can you rewind that 20 seconds?
But what if there's like...
Why? Because he completely just changed sentences mid-thought because he knew he was revealing himself? Yeah, you gotta like when they do that.
Yes, genius.
Okay, let it play now.
Why? Like, you realize I get paid, you know, she's like, "No, I get that, but..."
What?
If there's one student who you choose, okay. What if there's like 10,000 people who want to...
You realize they get paid to... Oh, yeah, let me not go down that road.
You get money from YouTube. And I'm like, So that kind of got me interested in like just like checking things out, like what's out there. And yeah, there are some people who like...
This guy is literally the third Blues Brother.
Like,
fucking... He's a clown who thinks he's arrived.
I'm gonna fall asleep. I'm like, that's horrible. Like my lectures, and when I would teach, and then the class I would teach that I teach at the law school.
Here's how great he is.
The Michigan Bar Prep class. So basically, every week we're gonna go through everything you need to know about criminal law, everything you need to know about criminal procedure, everything you need to know about, you know, constitutional law. And I would have students come up to me afterwards and go, "I just learned more about constitutional law in the last hour and a half than I did with an entire semester with Professor so-and-so." And I'm like, well, I can't comment.
Wow, ego.
Amazing.
They're like,
amazing.
Can you teach all the first year classes? I'm like, Hey, you know what? If somebody asked me to, I would. I mean, we're gonna have to talk about, how that gets monetized. But
We
yeah,
talked about
All
how
right,
we
relax,
can monetize
relax.
what?
Hey, I like it.
Relax. You gotta let Slavin go on a bit. You guys are hooting and hollering. I know you love Slavin, and I know you love him and what he does, but please try to conduct yourself with some decorum.
Because you got to make it interesting.
Even the dog is all excited.
Sorry
Boil it
about
down
that.
into like terms that make sense and explain like what's going on. And sometimes there's like little catchy things that you can do, about like how to remember things. But yeah, so what you do gives people a chance to look at one, they're watching their government. Because you gotta pay attention, people. You gotta pay attention. These are elected individuals all across the different states. Some are appointed, some are not. You gotta be watching, and even if they're not, you can impeach. You can move to impeach people if you're not doing their job right. Two, you can learn something. You can actually learn a little something just for your own sake. Like, hey, I mean, some of it's common sense.
All right, where's the next timestamp? He's boring me again.
He actually says he's a sovereign citizen. He actually says in his own words.
All right, just give me the timestamp, man. Don't editorialize here.
2630, I think, is where it's at.
All right.
If not, I'll find it for
I
another
need
day.
more. I need Slavin in his element. I don't like when he's reserved and trying to pretend to be a good guy. I like when he's really fucking moving and shaking, and revealing.
Yeah.
I mean,
here by special appearance.
Yeah, but that's an actual thing. You can make a special appearance where you are not submitting to the jurisdiction of the court. You are there merely for the sole purpose of challenging the jurisdiction of the court. So, because a lot of times when you file an
Wait a second. I thought that he and others said they're not going to play games with sovereign citizens who claim that they're there for special presentments. This is very weird because you guys are now revealing behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, that everything we're saying is true, and you even teach it to people, but you're pimping and macking on the stand to get us out of position and out of status to accept your fucking games and your double speak.
If only he could find a way to monetize it. If only he could find a way to monetize that.
Well, he's monetizing double and triple time. He was already about to say before he switched the narrative, I get paid to, anyway.
Whoops.
So now you want to get paid double time on YouTube to bullshit everybody and overthrow the law of the land with your double speak and your statute, policy, and code and your energetics, because that's all it is. I've seen them do it. They try to pimp, and if you don't get affected by it, they get deflated. And then they put their head down and they go, okay, we're just going to do whatever, because they're trying to get you off your position. The same way I would if I was going to go all out and play a game. And I've done it here authentically in a way where I kind of just move into that energy. I'm going to put you on a hot spot, right? I'm going to elevate my voice. I'm going to have a passion for the truth, and I'm going to get to the facts of the matter. And if you shake off position and get off balance and your story changes, I got you. Right? That's all they're doing. They don't even really believe this shit half the time when they're up there. It's a performance. It's a play. It's an act. It requires your participation and your reactivity. Right? If you're responsive, they can't get you in their jurisdiction, and they can't get you in contempt. Right? And the best way to respond is on paper. You don't even speak to them because they can't recognize you and you can't recognize them. They're not men and women of the people, and they're trying to say you're a person. And if you show up special presentment as a man, they can't recognize you anyway. If they do, their case is over because you hold the power of the court. That's their court of record rules. The sovereign is the holder of the power of that court, and they define the sovereign as the men and women of the people. So you folks are a bunch of actors there. You're there to serve men and women. Whoever the man and woman is in the court holds the power if there's no man or woman on the other side claiming a wrong to be done. You can't steamroll that person and then claim that the person over there, the prosecutor, is the people. We know what you're doing. It's called flipping the script. See, if you're pimping, sometimes you flip the script. Oh, that guy, yeah, he's the people. Who's that? Oh, he's a person. Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah, and just so you know, Paul, Slavin actually confirms everything that you just said. So if anybody's going to challenge your claims, Slavin is about to actually say what you just said.
Right. I could do everything he can do and more. I just don't have the substantiation of the state of, because I didn't walk that path. But I'd be a great administrator, or some could argue better than he ever could be. Right. And I could play both sides if I wanted to. better than anybody could, I would choose not to, because again, I don't care how much you pay me and how great of a game it is and how in this logic hoes are meant to be pimped on. That's pimp rules 101. You meet a hoe, you pimp on her. There's nothing to talk with her about. There's nothing to love on her about. You know it when you meet it, and you know what to do when you meet it. So that's their logic, right? Never smarten up a chump, never give a sucker an even break. There's two jurisdictions. If you don't know who and what you are, well, then we're going to presume you to be a person. If you accept that, we're going to pimp and break on you, and we're going in your pocket, and you're going to fuck for the state.
Kind of the stuff that I'm going through is I've got them jumping through all the jurisdictions. I got them jumping through all of that stuff, and they're furious because I'm making them have to do all of the shit that they, because sometimes you get in there, they just want to, say you're a person. Sometimes you get in there, they're going to say you're an object. Sometimes it all depends, but I got them doing it all. And this last one, I get Danny, they had a hearing, but it was supposed to be an arraignment. He hasn't been arraigned since he got to Texas. And everything they've done has been trying to get him to under some kind of contract, and they can't. He's proud of him. He's stuck his feet in the ground. He hasn't budged a bit. And because I did what I did, they can't have the arraignment because I'm the administrator. So they can't stand in for me, and they can't bully him into a contract. So what I'm trying to figure out is how the hell do I get him out when they have no arresting document and no proper bond attached? These are all the challenges that I'm going through right now. I just wanted to say that because I saw Wiz on here. Wanted to let him know that.
Warranto.
Q Warranto?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I murdered him with that last thing I murdered him with. They are beyond on their heels on that. And then I put in the schedule of fees. I put that in today. They're at 9.5 on all the violations that they've done so far. And that's just the ones I pulled out of my hat. So that I shouldn't have to do a Q warranto with the going to equitable jurisdiction, because they literally just can't acknowledge anything I said. If they acknowledge anything I said, he walks.
Well, that's just it, though, because that's what the quo warranto is. It's asking them, where's your authority? You're operating in a court of law. We demand equity. They are not the same jurisdictions. This is not a military jurisdiction. And if you don't cede your jurisdiction to one of the natural persons, one of the American citizens, under your contract in public service of a public trust, that military unit might hold you to treason, sedition, whatever, but that would be up to them. I'm going to snitch on you.
Who do I snitch to?
Well, it's a military unit, right?
President?
Military Board of Commissions, Joint Chiefs of Staff, Pentagon.
Okay. I was going to do the post office, but okay.
The remedy is an action of quo warranto. You're not questioning their office or their title. You recognize their office and their title, and you let them know that in that office, under that title, you don't have the jurisdiction you're saying you do. You can't identify me. And if you can't identify me, you don't recognize the Father, you heathen motherfucker. I wouldn't say that, but you get the point.
That. Well, but that's the interest, is I think they're writing the AO 403 or 430 till tomorrow. That's what I think they're doing, because that'd be 3 days since I filed it. So that's what I think they're doing more over anything else. But I got the Q warranto. I got the affidavit of obligation ready to go. I just want to finish this because I think I got him hitting the nuts. Because the administrator I talked to today, I promise you, he was somebody's nephew, cousin, brother, something. This son of a bitch didn't know shit. He knew nothing. And I was hitting him in the chest with, well, who has the administrative authority in your district? He said, well, the judges have each case. I said, there is no judge in this matter. The judges never had an arraignment. The judges only had magistrates stand in to try to negotiate contract. He said, I don't know anything about that. I said, well, you're the administrator. It all goes through you.
Check with the local. See if you got a local authority under the same capacity as a master commissioner.
Hi.
Master commissioner. Master commissioner. Remember, it's all military. So it may just be your county commissioner.
It's Texas. I don't know shit about Texas. But this is who they referred me to that is the administrator of the courts. And because his case hasn't been arraigned, it's still under the administrator.
Yeah, and he's got a selective service number too. So that's you bring in the adjutant general under the state embassy.
See, that's hitting them. I got him between a rock and a hard place right now. Let me see what happens tomorrow. Because he didn't know shit. The judges, of course, won't talk to me. The clerk was baffled. She had no clue. But I said, well, I'm the administrator and nobody's contesting it. So I need my actions executed immediately. And he clarified exactly how he clarified how they operate. He said the judge will give the command and then the clerks will follow the judge's command. I said, well, now I'm the administrator and the judges aren't. So because they're not giving the command, I'm giving the command. So we'll see. I don't know. You know, you got to play it out and just kind of see piece by piece because I want to see what really works. And I don't doubt Q Warrentoe is going to put them on the heels. And of course, we got the nuclear weapon with the affidavit of obligation.
Yeah, and then you got to remember, folks.
I'm trying everything.
A lot of these people, like we just saw with Judge Slavin, think they're going to go around teaching people something when they don't know the truth. They don't know the facts of the law. They haven't themselves researched and listen and pay attention. They themselves researched as much as I or some of these other people out there. And you heard him say he was teaching these students all they needed to know in 1 week. That's indoctrination. Remember this, remember this, remember this. You cannot possibly know all you need to know in 1 week. You cannot possibly know all you need to know in your entire career, no matter what occupation you have.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter how much you. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter how much you know because you got to put what you know into practice. And once you do that, you get revealed that what you thought you knew was not as sound as it was told to be. That's the whole point of practicing law is through conference.
Well, what is he saying in 1 week? He's telling them in 1 week, just come to the back. I'll cut you the deal. That's how you get through. That don't take any time. He can teach that in 5 seconds.
It's like a Burger King training program. They give you 5 days on the computer. They upload you with their nonsense, and they go ahead, start pimping and macking, and you learn on the fly how to deal with a slave.
Hey, just come to me. Go to the prosecutor. This is how you cut the deal. And once you understand how to cut the deal, you're good to go. And that doesn't take any time. He's right on that one. He's not teaching them law. He's teaching them the hustle. You know, you put the hose on 5th and Brooklyn and pick them up on 12th and Broadmoor. That's what you do. He's telling them how this is how the pimp whole game works. You a pimp, get over here with the pimps, and we pimp together. But if you dumb enough to try to listen to your client, then your career is going to be short.
Hold on, we got zombies here. We got somebody new here. I want to touch base with him. What's going on, zombie? What do you got to offer? As the Talcadian one has said.
Hi, nice to meet you. I really don't know you guys. I was wanting to join the panel, but I do kind of talk about a lot of different things. I mean, I actually think there's about to be a civil war and different things. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that, or should I say Minecraft or not? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've only talked about it 1,000 times.
Oh, I was just looking for panels to join to talk about stuff like this, but I don't really know you guys.
It hadn't jumped off.
Sure. Yeah.
So what are you doing in your own life to prepare for what you see as unrest? Is the best way to put it.
I bought like 100 cans of Spam, like seriously, just stuff like that. Anything I can. I got a limited funds, it's just me and limited family, and I definitely am extremely worried. I don't know what you can do. I mean, I don't even know if anybody's going to survive. I don't know if you had a bunker, you would survive, because whatever
nobody knows anything of what's going to happen conclusively for sure. All we know is what we can do now, some of us, to secure ourselves regardless of what happens. Again, there's a way of living where it turns out good for you no matter what happens, if you could imagine that.
Can I hop in and comment on zombies for just a second? First off, rule number one for preppers, though, I heard, was don't tell anybody you're a prepper. So you do not have Kansas spam laying around. You got nothing. Don't come. Don't try to.
I don't think he's going to have to worry about anybody overrunning his compound for the 100 cans of spam.
Yeah, I don't have any guns. I got forks.
Yeah,
I don't have any guns. I got forks and butter knives.
You can have everything I leave behind because I'm heading out to the hills.
And no offense, but who the fuck wants spam? Am I right? I mean, what the fuck is that?
It's high in calories, and you can survive on it. I don't think it'll be great surviving, but at least you're surviving. That's kind of the goal there. You know what I mean?
Well, and then the problem with like bomb shelters, or nobody really thinks this through. When you dig a tunnel and put a bomb shelter in there in the military, like they smoke you out. They'll just drop something down there and just kill you. It's not that hard. So it's let's design a living space.
Yeah, again, you're going way too far down the line. Everybody's trying to play like James Bond special agent. At the end of the day, if you're poor and broke and you have little to no value, and you need to secure yourself for the future, you have like a list of things you need to be doing and putting yourself toward, and figuring out whether or not someone's going to throw a smoke grenade in your bunker is probably way low down on the list.
And me personally, I don't believe something's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be a civil war. I don't think it's going to be true physical conflict. You have to understand the real power that they exude is the power over the spirit. They're able to convince us and get us to embrace fear, terror, and don't get me wrong, it's effective. I'm not going to tell you it's not, because you ever been to jail? When that door closes, it fucks with you, no matter how strong you are. But their whole thing is about breaking your psyche down and breaking your emotional and spiritual self. If they can break you and feed your fear, because that's the number one weapon, man, is fear. Once you got the fear in, once you're scared, once you think, okay, shit, war's about to go down, really logistically think about it. They don't have a valid cause to even go to war. Not here. And even with the stuff going on overseas, they still don't have enough fervor to go to war. Not to mention, we're currently in occupation. So they have to shut this occupation down in order to start a new war. Because otherwise, why do you think the president is able to go into conflicts without having to declare war from Congress? Because we're already under occupation. And so because we're still under occupation, anything that furthers the occupation, they can do without asking anybody shit. So that's right.
This is a game of conscious. This is a game of conscious and awareness first and foremost. That's what everyone needs to remember. If you're not in faith, you're in fear, and I can feel it before I hear it and see it. It's an energy. So when you come here telling me about this, that, and the third, you're mistaking what I do for what you do. I'm speaking about all the perils that may be up ahead in order to inspire us to live fully now and be who and what we need to be now. I'm not speaking about it because I'm fearful and I'm paralyzed and I don't know what to do and I'm crying out on the internet for answers. I have the answers for myself in my own life. I've been given providence, blessings, and grace. I've been allowed to co-create and commune with folks who are on the same path. And I'm not separate or special or unique from any other self out there. So the way is the way as far as I'm concerned. Right.
So
what I'm seeing,
and like Steve's been saying, it's all military. And Steve, can you tell the people what is the primary element of every military contract, if you could?
Deception.
No, the opposite. It's a peace treaty.
Oh,
That is the ultimate. That is the ultimate of a military contract, is that it contains within it a peace treaty for arbitration and not subject to a court. It's already in equity. The peace treaty.
So the thing I'm saying, the thing that was the big thing, and Wiz gave me some priceless stuff with getting the Western District, getting the court, federal courts to document AO 430 onto the record to go to equity. Been looking for equity for years, and he cut it short for me, and it was brilliant. Thanks, by the way, again, Wiz, for that. But the thing is that when you operate in peace, because you are either an enemy combatant, a POW, or a protected person, and this is all under Chapter 11 of the Military Occupation Handbook. Those are the three positions at which you take.
And the Libra Code.
Right? And the Libra Code, yes. The Occupation Handbook was written off of the Libra Code. And it's got a lot of Libra Code references in the occupation. So I'd encourage everybody, if you really want to know what's going on, just download it. It's online. Military Law of War Manual.
And occupation is reference to the land. They don't occupy the sea. The seas are open for everybody. It's the land that is claimed as occupied.
Right. And they're termed the occupying power. So when you look at the military handbook, go to Chapter 11, I think it's 745. That's where you're going to start reading, and it reads terrible. It reads worse than the phone book. It's a terrible, terrible read, but you read a little bit, walk away, come back, read a little bit, walk away, come back. But what you'll see is exactly what they're doing. And I think the one thing that did I show it on this show before? I think I showed how they utilize and manipulate the media. And it clearly states that they can take over any media outlet of any kind at any point, whenever they determine. But you read that throughout the whole military occupation handbook, is that they take over energy, education, healthcare, transportation, police. They take over all the infrastructure of any occupied territory. And we've been occupied since the Civil War. So we have to keep that in mind. So in order for the country to go to war again, you have to end this current occupation in order for Congress to issue a new War Powers Act or War Powers Initiative, which is Article 1 of the Constitution. So that's why I don't think we're going to war. But again, they've amazed me with what they've done with my case and my boy Danny's case. They've absolutely amazed me, because I'm like, I couldn't think they go this damn stupid, but they do. So I don't know how dumb they'll go with the full country. But I do know this is, when you operate under fear, you're doing exactly what they want. Because as long as you're afraid of something, they got power over you.
They're asking you who's they down there, Steve. Give me 1 second. I got to screen this guy in the back. What's going on, man?
What's happening, bro? Just chilling.
Yeah, what do you got?
I'm just chilling, man. Just listening to what's going on. Just seeing if I could just chill.
Who's this, Antonio?
No. I've never been on the show before, but I just want to listen, basically.
Can I see you? Okay, so you got no plans on doing nothing crazy or weird, right?
No, I'm not gonna do that. Promise. I don't even know how to do that.
Okay.
Oh, I know.
So,
this good dude.
So
Who is they, Steve?
The they is the governing body over the military, and it's not the generals. It's not the board of admirals. It's none of those. It is the GC, the General Council. The General Council are the ones that control the resources that go to the military. So they're the ones that provide the ammo, the guns, the planes, the food, the transit, the trains, the soldiers. All of the military contractors are the ones that control the military, which is who? Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Skunk Works, General Dynamics, That's
Is
who
it all under the
controls the
department?
military.
Is it all under the Department of Defense, though?
Yes,
Okay, so that's NASA as
but
well.
they're
Right?
yes, it's the
Okay.
GC. So the GC are the companies that produce the goods necessary for military action. It's not the generals. The generals are operators. They're military personnel, no different than a soldier. But but they do command the theaters wherever they go. So, but the GC's the ones that, because they're the ones that, hey, you're going to need, this going to be a sea battle. Well, you're going to need submarines. You're going to need carriers. You're going to need those things. And the GCs are the ones that go and get the material, to get the aluminum, to get the steel, to get all those things that they need to produce the armaments necessary. 9 times out of 10, they're usually just using the Army Corps of Engineers, because the Army Corps of Engineers are the ones that go and do all the civil stuff, to set up the towns, to set up the control of the power source, the water sources, things of that nature. That's usually who they're using, especially here in America. So it is the people that were at Jekyll Island that founded the Federal Reserve. That's who it was. And that's who's still in power. They never lost power. They've only gotten bigger and stronger. So, but with every contract must be remedy. Now, trust me that this remedy is hidden deep into all of this shit. And that's the whole challenge, is they try to get everybody, they put out true information. They never tell 100% lies or 100% truth. It's never 100%. There's always a little lie and there's always a little truth in everything they say. So that's where the confusion comes in, because they say something about everything. And then they put so much shit out there that don't even matter. That
Yeah, they have
all
to
they
gain
want
your
you to be
trust.
is
They put
Yes.
out truth. They put out the truth to gain your trust, and that way, once they have your trust, they can hit you with the disinformation.
No
Sorry.
shit.
And I
Not trying to
promise
interrupt
you, my primary example was Anna von Rice. When I first started doing her name change stuff, which worked, all of it worked. The thing is everything she told you came from Alaska. And what I found out the hard way was every state don't do like Alaska. Every state has their own policy and procedures. So you have to learn your local rules to know what your state does. But her stuff really worked. Same with George Strait. His stuff really worked. But there's a little
What about
taint in there.
federal laws, though? Like, are federal and state, like, can different states have different federal laws? Sorry.
No, all federal law is consistent across the board. But
yeah, none of them
they
seem
do-
to follow the federal code that you call federal
They-
laws. None of them seem to want to follow it.
But
Yeah,
again,
don't
all of
follow.
those statutes, folks, are contracts, military contracts, once again, and that is stemmed from federal code 48 CFR 52.212-5.
But
Quote,
say,
quote,
like,
quote, quote,
marijuana
quote,
is-
quote, contract terms and conditions required to implement statutes or executive orders - commercial items, commercial services. It's all
That's
commercial.
common.
It's all military. It must be contracted.
So what are you saying about weed?
marijuana, I think, that's illegal federally, right? But yet they're letting states legalize it. So, I guess that's a different. I'm not going to get into that debate, but I'm still trying to,
Yeah, obviously there's a difference there, right? When I say that they're not following federal code, I'm talking about them doing RICO and fraud and like abuse of official position and, forcing securities on people on the side of the road, things like that. It's a different idea when you talk about men and women of the people having a right to use a plant. When it comes to that idea, there is no problem with bucking any federal code that's put down through legislature because it is a right. That's the whole point of checks and balances. So anyone can buck anybody if it's not a constitutionally sound endeavor. But that's not what we have going on. We have these folks bucking the federal code because they want to profiteer and do a whole bunch of fraud to generate revenue.
Yes. And Slavin in that video actually goes on to call himself a sovereign citizen.
All right, where's this at? Where's the next timestamp?
I think coming right up. So just if you play it, it should be right here soon.
You just submitted to the jurisdiction of the court. You decided to play. We invited you to the party. You showed up to the party.
Holy shit. So this guy's now teaching exactly the way that I and others do, like on Zoom for 2 years, is they invite you just like, hello? Hello? I can't have folks yelling over me. So he's now teaching the same way I, Carl Lentz, and others have been, or showing the idea of jurisdiction as we invite you to a party. If you answer to that nonsense name on paper, you've agreed to play and represent that person. He just fucking admitted to it. Am I in some alternate world where now he's got to be doing this for the people using the, like, he has to, this has to be one of those things, right? Like, he doesn't even know he's doing it, but in a weird way, he's now on there to reveal to everyone what it always has been, because they won't believe me when I say it, but they'll maybe believe him when he says it. The devil does good sometimes. This is what I always say. Everything here has a function, including the devil, and it does good sometimes.
Yeah,
That's
why
why
do you think I was so happy to, like, I when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, I mean, I usually tell you I don't want to watch or listen to anything, and I don't answer you when you message me, but that may be to my own detriment, because you got Pix's Slavin back there telling it all and then some. All the shit we've been saying the whole time that they say is sobsit mumbo jumbo, he's saying is actual, presumption of law. So this is good. This is very good. Very good. Very good.
Sometimes you can show up to the party and you're not bringing a gift. You're not planning on eating any cake. I was just coming to say, hey, thanks for the invite, but no. So you can file, you can come by special appearance to challenge the jurisdiction. The fact that, you know what, I'm just here to let you know you don't have any power to even bring this case against me. Because I get rid of cases sometimes for lack of jurisdiction. You come into my courtroom.
That sounded like the guy walked in and told him what to do and didn't ask
I'm going
him.
to kick the case. Why? I don't have jurisdiction to make a determination about it, unless it's a landlord-tenant case. So, and that's my job, is to know what jurisdiction there is, and if I have jurisdiction over something.
You know why that is?
So when someone comes in there and they're like, well, you lack jurisdiction, you know what?
Because it's called a landlord-tenant case. That's a tax, 1/10, 10 and it's based on the tax. It has to be insured, and you are a tenant in lieu of the landlord. Those are false terms. You're not a resident. You're not an occupant. You're a sojourner dwelling from time to time in a place of a temple. And you have the right to express that as your express trust privately. And it's not in disagreement, nor does it violate the public trust. They cannot exclude you from the same benefits of persons. They cannot exclude you from the same benefits of contracts by not giving you equal consideration. If they're going to treat you in a contractual form, they must give you equal consideration.
All right, Wizard, stop it now. Let's zoom out here and just call it what it really is. You got a guy named Slavin. I'm the unslaved one. They all keep telling me that I'm like unfulfilled because I wanted to be like them or be part of them. No, you guys had it backward again. Slavin wants to be like me. He's now telling everyone the whole game, unslaving everyone indirectly, speaking it the same way I have for the last 3 years. And he's doing it on YouTube, trying to monetize. Slavin, we love you. Come on over, bud. Let's have a conversation on panel. It's finally happening. We're merging the under and over world. It's merging.
It's all about military strategy. They are strategizing, saying we're getting a shit ton of people coming in here saying special appearance. So what did I say? They're never going to give you 100% truth. They're never going to give you 100% false. They're going to take some of the truth, sprinkle in with what they want you to believe, and say, yeah, you can come in here and challenge the jurisdiction. Go right ahead. But where are you going to go? How are you going to get, if they're ultimate
what jurisdiction?
That's my point. How far are you going to go?
I just went and picked up food. I just went and like took a piss, and you're still talking about the same shit. What's the point of the conversation?
Who is that talking right now? Because Steve probably would have just slapped you, and I had to tell him, Steve, could you back off?
If I was sitting
why
behind
we
a
all can't
recruitment
meet on the
office,
land, right?
If I was sitting behind a recruitment office desk, I'd be talking like that too.
Right. Who are you, and what do you do exactly? What are you about?
I ask questions, man.
You ask questions, I'm sure. Like a lot of other people.
I add when there's something practical.
Wizard, please. So you ask questions in a presumptuous, assumptive, asshole, dick-like way, right? That's what you do?
If men can handle it, yes.
Right, men can handle it. So what makes you think I can't handle it by calling you out for being a bitch?
I'd be an opinion, sir.
No, you're being a bitch. You went to go sit down to piss. You came back, and you didn't like what the fuck you heard, so you're going to make a presumptuous statement. What's the point of the conversation?
I'll watch you.
Maybe next time you go to sit down and piss, you take the phone with you so you can keep up. Or was it a disingenuous question? Because you're a passive-aggressive bitch, right?
It depends on what the goal of the conversation is, sir.
Right. The goal of the conversation is to continue the conversation without bitches and retards.
Where's it
So
going?
could you see your way out? It's going with you leaving. Could you see your way out?
All right, bitch.
We'll see you later. Okay? You're going to come in here and start making presumptions and assumptions and taking control and taking charge. And you're going to ask questions because you didn't hear what you wanted while you're back and forth from the phone because you're a dissolute tard. I'd bet anything on it. Just like you won't show your face online. All the dissolute tards hide behind the avatar and try to play tough online, but ain't about shit day to day on the ground and got nothing to show and talk about. So stop wasting our time here. I just told Snafu Creature the same thing. You're one of them. So go the way of the Snafu Creature. Anything else that you'd like to say before you leave, sir? Hold on. Because this is what I suspected when he came in here. Anything else that you'd like to say before you leave here, sir? Hello? You're still there?
I'm good.
Okay. Great stuff. Medication time somewhere. It's always medication time somewhere, right? It's like happy hour. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere, Steve. You were saying?
What was I saying? What were we talking about? Because he distracted.
Can I bring up a point for a minute? Zombies here.
Go ahead, sir.
I was kind of wondering how this civil war is going to take place. So I was kind of thought gaming it out, and I thought, well, you know, these Democrats, you know, a bunch of dead people, they're not going to fight in any war. A bunch of homeless people, they're not going to fight in any real war. I guess they are kind of doing something. I don't know, but so they're either going to have to bring in like some troops from maybe Russia or China. And I even thought, well, they're not even going to. Look at what they're doing in Ukraine. They're being devastated by drones. And then I'm like, well, is that what they're going to use on us as drones? But then they're working on this AI technology and robots, and Tesla is saying he's going to come out with real robots this year, humanoid robots or whatever. And I said,
yeah, we already have them, sir. They're called citizens. So we're just updating the program. Hey, let's get back to what you're doing or what you need to do so that you can avoid having only 100 cans of Spam and nothing else when they overrun the compound. I want to work with you, so I want to help you.
I probably need to get right with God, and I try to get my family ready, but you know, I mean, my family.
Do you make a living, sir? I've become my father.
You know.
I've become my father. Forgive me. Do you make a living, sir? Do you do anything day to day to like produce value, to bring value to the community, to serve something?
Absolutely, I do try to, but I don't like enabling people. I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm not going to go like.
I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you about your philosophy. I didn't ask you about your philosophy on service and serving the community and making a living. I just asked a simple, direct question. Do you work or make a living or bring a service or a product or something to the community daily where you can be recognized and you can get paid, in quotes, in order to facilitate more for yourself and your family?
Well, absolutely. I love working on things. So yeah, I like cars and appliances. So yeah, absolutely. I try to have some, abilities and different things. So yes.
Yeah, but you still didn't answer the question directly. Do you have something you do daily where you can show up and like what you do and get value in different ways? One of which being an ability to buy another 100 cans of Spam.
Yeah. Yes.
Can I ask what that is?
I like working on cars and appliances.
So people pay you regularly to fix their things?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I do small mechanic work, lawnmowers, cars, appliances. So that's a good, that makes me money. It brings bread to the table. And a lot of people, it's a very, if you're mechanically minded, it's not really that difficult to fix different things and do stuff like that. And I think these people, they can't do that because they can't spend 10 seconds, on a YouTube video to look up and learn. And it can be hard sometimes. I struggle. Sometimes I come across the vehicle or something that I can't figure out right away. It takes a little longer. That's called diagnosis and things.
So what would you say is the reason why you're not kind of getting ahead? Because that's kind of what I heard from you in the beginning is you're working daily and you're fixing these things for people and you're bringing in value. Why is there not kind of, why is there this energy of, you don't have enough or you're not getting ahead?
Well, I'm a little hesitant to go too ahead because sometimes when you show too much wealth, sometimes you attract the wrong kind of people that want to leech off that wealth. So
you're saying if you were to get, let's say, 200 cans of Spam, people start coming out of the woodwork to play on you. I've seen that. That is true in my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but you can see that you can kind of see the lack of a fail-safe there, where you won't do more for yourself in your life because of fear. We're back to fear again. I'm trying to point out to you that we have themes in our life that show themselves over and over.
That I've learned about fear. I'm not trying to interrupt you, but if you're not afraid, then you're not right. Normal people should be afraid. Fear is there for a reason.
Yeah, like touching a hot stove, but not necessarily doing better for yourself and your family. Why would you be afraid of that?
I think one of the things that I really wanted to address was your getting in touch with God. You don't have to go to church to do this. You just have to get in touch with yourself. It's about you understanding who you are and what your purpose is on this earth. And you
not only do you not have to go to church, Steve, God's definitely not there. So if you go to church, you're probably going to find the devil.
That too. But the thing you got to do is start, because this will manage your fear, is number one, focus on operating in peace. Be at peace. Don't let, fear is natural. Fight or flee is natural. All of these other levels of fear, they've created all this shit to get you paranoid, terrified, anxiety, you name it. They just created it as a form of control. Because if they can make you anxious and like, oh shit, there's a lot of places you could go in America, which I would say go to a major city, but I sure as fuck wouldn't want to start no civil war in goddamn Texas. Everybody outside of the major city got at least 2 guns, if not more. So that's not a place to start a civil war. Many southern states, it's not a good spot. You're better off trying to start something in maybe Minneapolis or shit. I can't even say Kansas City because we were leading in murders for a couple of years ago. So, I mean, that's what I'm trying to say to you is the Civil War just doesn't make any sense. And I'm not saying they won't do it because they're crazy as fuck and I don't know what they're going to do, but I would not lose sleep at night about it. That's my thought.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the outside stimuli is. It matters that you're continually in a state of fear and not faith. It matters that you're continually stagnant and not progressing. That's the theme here. The theme we see here all the time. It's nobody's exempt from it.
You have to focus your energy and not let them take your energy, because they're trying to make you be afraid of something, and that's pulling the negative energy out of you. So meditate, pray, and when you pray, just keep it simple. God, I don't understand what's going on. Could you please make it clear for me so I can begin to understand what I need to do with my life? Help me be at peace. Help me have balance. Help me understand. Help me be patient, and help me learn, and then be open to it, because these are the things that control your will. When you exercise your power of free will, then you can exercise your power to choose, because it'll start to become clear to you. But you have to pray for the clarity. You have to pray for the understanding. You have to pray for these things. You don't have to go to church to do this. You can fellowship with a friend. 2 or more gather, God is present. So let that be it. You don't, this life is made complicated by the people that govern us. Uncomplicate your life.
So Steve, get this one. He just told me they put a warning on my video for explicitness. And just yesterday, they struck 2 of my social medias from something from a year and a half ago, claiming I'm exploiting children sexually. So that's a new rap, right? That's a new wrinkle. First it was SOCiOLOGY terrorist, extremists. Now they're claiming I'm sexually exploiting children. So
that could
it's
be
fascinating when they always project onto you what it is they're doing and what they're up to.
That's what they do.
Very revealing. I'm totally in the game of child sexploitation here. Can't you tell? It's just fascinating.
Well, the law doesn't understand sarcasm, so you got to watch out a little bit there, man.
Again, the reason they did it was because I made a commentary on how many of these religions are so mind and heart controlled that they suck the genitals of children after circumcising them. That's hardly child sexploitation. That's bringing awareness to corruption and bad faith behavior.
Yeah, that's true, but you got to watch out with that. You don't want to be labeled anti-Semitic because.
Well, you know how I got out of it? No, it's very simple, sir. You don't get who and what I am. I've been labeled a whole bunch of things, and everyone's always going to get labeled in this life. That is the tool of a deceiver and detractor. I'm not interested in what they label me. It's not what they call me. It's what I answer to. Better yet, what I've done and not done, and the intention of my heart. The Creator judges my heart. So with that said, you know how I got out of it? I just said, this is not a violation of policy because this isn't a violation of my religion. So I just flipped the game on them because it was a picture and a commentary on Hasidic Jews, in quotes, who have a whole bunch of other Jews who don't like them and say they shouldn't be doing what they're doing in there with babies. So they got me reinstated. I know how to flip their game and their statute, policy, and code and use the law if necessary. It's how you protect yourself from corruption and fraud. So it's not against our religion to suck the genitals. See, they'll say, I'm exploiting children sexually. Then when I claim to be the Orthodox and say, this isn't a violation, put the picture back up of them sucking the child's genitals. It's not against my religion. They say, okay, we'll put it back up. You go figure that out, how that works.
And that's the thing, is to get we're so led to be confused that if it doesn't confuse us the right way, we reject it because it's not confusing.
You know what the most hated religion? Sorry, I didn't mean to. Sorry. The most hated religion is Christianity, more than Muslims, more than Jews, more than anybody. Christians.
Yeah, I know. You heard that on Reddit. The reality of it is the most hated religion or the most hated types of people are people who stand for what's true and what's right. That's why they kill the Rastafari at every war. That's why they kill the tribal people. Yeah. Right. So let's not create this new narrative that they want for all the Republicards that the most demonized and persecuted people are all the fake ass Christians live in devilish ways. Anybody who lives the truth is persecuted, and it doesn't matter if they're part of a group or they're an individual. We know that. Blessed are the persecuted, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And they don't come in groups usually.
Yeah, if you want to be
usually the individual who's persecuted.
Be religious. I mean, not religious. be a good person. Sorry. If you
They
want to
count
be
on
the
you being
most
a
hated,
good person.
be a good person. Stand for what's right. Be against pedophilia. Oh, sorry. My internet took a dump.
And I'm not saying the thing is they want you to focus on anything but them. They want you, and I'm not saying that pedophilia and stuff, it doesn't happen. It absolutely does. But they're trying to get you over there so you don't focus on what they're doing in the policy enforcement and in the judiciary, because that's where they rule us. Anytime you step out of bounds, they'll stick some policy enforcers on you. If they can't get you with taxes, they're going to get you in the court. And trust and believe, they got a code to get your ass in the court for taxes. Damn near guaranteed. I've been there too many times. I fought too many cases over tax situations that came out of nowhere. They just made the shit up. All taxes is made up anyway, by the way. If you pay them 25 cents, you pay taxes.
Well,
So
shoot,
I ain't paid
the Boston Tea Party was over like a 1% tax increase. Why?
And trust me, they hit you with way. Well, I've been beat up way more with taxes than anything, and that's been my biggest assailant since I've been an adult. Is
People
taxes.
try to say I don't pay taxes. It's like every time I buy something, I pay taxes. What are they talking about?
Again, they try to normalize. They try to normalize the shit they do that that they convince us is best for us, but it's not. The income tax is literally just to keep you broke because they don't want you to have too much money, and that's part of the military. When you're a POW, there's only so much money you can have.
If you're dumb, they shower you with money, but if you're intelligent, there's no money for you. You're gonna have to earn it a different way. And that's kind of when you're intelligent, you can earn your money a different way. But if you're dumb, you can't do that. So you have to be rewarded.
I don't know if it's so much dumb as much as it is they just want you zero focused on what you do.
It's called a coward, Steve. When you're a coward, you have to be provided for. And then you got to follow what the pimp says.
So, and I'm going to say this from my experience, because again, the time, effort, and energy it took to be a pro athlete, I didn't have a lot of time to learn anything else. I don't give a shit what they say. You're getting a free education. That's bullshit.
Well, Steve, I just gave you the beach ball there. My father was given an opportunity to go play professional baseball. He didn't take it, and he's been fucking projecting on everyone since. You know why? Not because he wasn't good enough, because he was a fucking coward.
Well, okay. I don't want to.
You don't see your own credibility in things where you're able to go past all the fears that everyone else is like crippled by. You know how afraid the average motherfucker would be to get out in the field and play with them people?
Trust me, I know. I'm saying to you, I give people that because doing what I did was extraordinarily dangerous and takes a lot of courage. It is what it is. And everybody ain't built like that. So that's fine. I'm not going to say you got to have my kind of courage, but my kind of courage led to this kind of courage, which anyone can have. And what I'm saying is that I'm going to exude patience for everybody because everybody's at a different starting point. The number one thing, you don't get courage until you learn how to manage the fear. If you don't learn how to manage the fear, then you can't have courage.
You don't get courage till you learn you're a coward. That's how it's come for me. It was only until I considered that I was a bitch ass motherfucking coward on my own land that I started to travel freely and all the rest of it because I didn't want to be a coward anymore. So you can't have courage till you recognize your cowardice. One comes before the other.
I don't disagree with that either. I just look at my courage was developed because I told the story before, but I was holding Mike Allstott and his femur broke because Quentin Coryatt's head went right into his femur. And the femur is the big bone in the leg. And I heard the snap and I didn't know if it was me or him. But then when he yelled, of course, it was him. And then for 30 minutes, it took him to get off the field. And I'm just sitting there thinking, holy shit, I could have fucking lost my femur today. And I got 5 minutes to figure out if I'm going to keep doing this shit or not. And I opted to, okay, fuck it. I'm here. I got to make sure it's somebody else, not me. And I started
Bro,
playing
there
real
comes a
fast
point
from
in
that
this
point
shit
on.
where courage just transfers to continuity. What the fuck else are you gonna do at that point, bro? You worked your whole
That's
life
where
to
I'm
be
at.
there at that moment. If you got to lose your feet in order to continue, that's what it's gonna take. What's the other option? Go back and flip French fries
That's
at
the point.
McDonald's, Steve Martin, 500 pounds,
The
however big
reality,
you are.
the reality is you got to make that choice, fight or flee. You gotta make that commitment. It's the same thing with what I'm talking about here, is that you got to make a commitment to not be afraid of your governing body. Your governing body wants you to be afraid of it and conditions you from birth to always live in fear. So
you
it's
ever heard
all
that
about
song? I fought the law and the law won.
Yeah. And they probably got a bonus for that song. Every single thing they do to condition us, they incentivize it because they want us conditioned to follow the rules.
Right, and
Because
everybody presumes that when you fight, the objective is to win. It's not. It's to avoid being labeled a coward. Every fight you show up to at the flagpole when you're growing up, you don't have to win. You just have to show up. You don't remember that speech in the Bronx Tale? If you're rolling with a crew or you're rolling alone, it ain't about winning every fight. It's about showing up every time. Because if not, you're a bitch ass coward and we can't move with you. The same way you come into prison. They don't expect you to win when they pile 6 guys up on you and say, we're going to beat on you for 30 seconds. The key is we want to know, can you stand and fight when the time comes? You ain't expected to win. You're expected to lose gracefully and put out while you're losing. In order to learn how to win, one must first learn how to lose. This is philosophy 101 from the beginning of time. The only way we know that is when you're tested, the same way they do at court. They ain't asking you to win. They're asking you to show up as an honorable, presentable man, and they haven't done it yet. If you just did that, you'd be guaranteed a win for yourself. If you just showed up, you'd be guaranteed a win every time. You'd win your self-respect or stop losing it. You'd win your rights back or stop giving them away. See, you don't have to win the fight to be guaranteed a win in yourself and in life.
So that's the biggest thing, is getting your peace. And once you have your peace, then you can move. But until you're at peace, you're caught in a whirlwind of different levels of fear. So always operate in peace. Don't attack anybody. You don't have to, but you ain't got to be no bitch either. Somebody comes at you, you let them know you want this smoke, I'm going to give it to you. And you can't be shy about it, because trust and believe, when you got to, like I was telling the administrator today, it's like, you're the administrator. It's your job to service me, not me to stop talking just because you don't feel comfortable with what I'm saying. It's your duty. You got one of my people locked up unlawfully. I'm not accepting it. I'm not going to sit here and say, just because you said, oh, we ain't letting them go, you better show me the rule that says you can keep them. And they can't. And that's the thing. And now, again, are they moving? No. But what have I done? Well, they're not going to come up and say, man, Steve, you got us. Good job. They're not going to do that. But what they do is they've had 2 arraignments and scheduled a 3rd one and ain't having none of them because I'm standing in as the administrator. That's what they do. So basically they can't do their job. And because you haven't arraigned them, you got to let them go. But they ain't doing that either. So this game is not for the meek. It is not for the if you're timid, if you're iffy, or you can, certain people just ain't gonna do this shit. It's just know thyself. If you ain't got no courage, if you don't have the gumption to fight, if you don't, and I'm not saying fight as in attack, I'm saying fight as in defend. It's all
just stay
Bruce
in your
Lee.
Position, man. Just stay in your
It's
position.
all Bruce Lee. Kung Fu theater. They come at you, dick, duck, and if they swing at you, you swing back. Don't be no bitch. And you just got to know how to do it. And if you have the conviction, that's the first thing. Again, move your will to exercise your power to choose.
See how I like to look at it, if we're going to use a martial arts analogy, is it's more of a judo situation, right? I ain't swinging. I'm going to show up, stay in my position. If you run at me, I'm going to transmute your energy and that forward movement into you falling on your ass. because with every approach from the system comes their own undoing. You just have to look for it, right? It's not about swinging back and beating them back or beating them down. It's about transferring that motion to where it doubles over onto them. Because like I said, you can't, it's the same way. It's this.
That's why there will be civil war. And
again, sir, I'm not interested in keep looping back on your fears. I already told you what your issue is in life. It's clear and present. You live in fear all of your day. When we talk faith and inspiration and co-creation and solutions, you keep looping back to where you're most at home, in fear. I'm not interested in civil war.
If you don't have
at this
fear,
moment. I'm not interested in all your
not
fears
right.
in your subconscious and conscious
Fear
mind
is a
piled up in the. I'm not
normal
interested
human
in your
instinct.
philosophy. I'm not interested in your
Okay,
loser
I'm
failure
sorry.
philosophy. You have to have
Okay, I
fear of
apologize.
touching a hot stove. You don't have fear of being a man born as a man.
I was forced to touch hot stuff, so it doesn't matter. I'm not,
I
that's
get
not
it. You've probably been abused. You've
It's
probably
okay.
been neglected. You probably have no self-worth, self-esteem, self-respect, and self-value. That's what we're doing here. Do you want it or not? If you don't want it, there's somewhere else, 10 other places where they'll just go over all your fears day after day, keep you paralyzed and inactive, and keep you thinking you're doing something with a bunch of other loser failures. Do you get it? Because I am you.
Yeah, I'm listening. Yes, I'm here to listen.
You're listening, but you're not hearing and you're not feeling, more importantly.
Well,
And that's
it
most of
sounds
the
like
problem I'm having with most folks. They can hear and listen and not feel like the Christ is being said.
It sounds like you want validation for being afraid, and it's okay that you have fear. That's natural. No different than
You're not
you having
afraid,
love.
then you're not paying attention.
You're talking over him like you know more
Got
than
it.
him and doing better than
No,
him. You
Got
don't
it.
know
I'm
more
not-
than
no,
him
I
and me.
don't. No.
Hey, you
No.
don't know
Well,
more than him
let me-
and me, and you're not doing better than us in life and in yourself.
Well,
That's
here's the
evidence. So
thing.
just stop
Here's
it.
But the thing I'm saying to you is that just because you have fear doesn't mean it stops or controls you. No different than you have joy or grief or any other emotion. It's an emotion. And you have to learn how to control your emotions. Because if, again, the fear always moves you to flight or flee.
This is you in the
And-
background right now. Do you see it? That's why I put it up for all of you. That's you chasing your own tail and eating on it and choking on it. That's your fear loop.
What
I'm
you
not
have-
interested
what-
in the fear loop.
The bottom line is you have to graduate from that understanding, and where Paul's coming from and where I'm coming from is that it's okay to have it, but don't let it control you. No different than a woman or anything else. You can
The
have
problem is, Steve, if
Just
you want
don't
to
let it
break
control
down,
you.
if you want to break down the subpsychology, I just gave it to you, and I guarantee if we asked, you could correct me where I'm wrong. It's a broken home situation. It's a lack of self-esteem and respect. He doesn't get attention anywhere else in his life. He wants that like we all do, and he's getting it the wrong way because he knows fear brings attention. All you have to do to get attention nowadays is push fear and push conspiracy theories and all the rest of it. And even if it's true, everyone shows up to sit in fear and trauma bond instead of talk about faith and solutions and inspire us to change. Hasn't worked for you yet. I guarantee if I go to your life and the way you live it, your fear-based loop has not worked for you yet. It's been your undoing.
Yeah, that's very possible.
In short, grow up.
I
Just
feel
do it.
that. I feel like I
It's a
need to
choice.
grow up.
It's just a choice. Simple. We complicate
I
things
feel
way
it.
too much. So don't complicate your life no more. Just decide, you know what? I'm not going to live in fear anymore. I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to let anything hold me back. Dare to dream and dream big. Don't be shy about your dreams, and trust and believe. You know you got a good dream when everybody tells you that ain't never going to happen, because you probably live in a fear circle of people who are also afraid. So when you say something like, I'm going to go build my own Tesla. Huh? How are you going to do that? Well, you got a mechanical mind. I can introduce you to some people that do HHO engines that run on hydrogen and oxygen. And then they got techniques to build a water car.
I
I'm not an
actually have
engineer.
a dry cell I could show you. I have a dry cell I made myself. I can show it to you.
Build that. Build it. Don't wait. If you've got the wherewithal and the knowledge and the experience and the desire, go. And don't let anything stop you. You're the biggest one holding you back. So move yourself. And I tell my kids when I talk about coaching, I can't make you want it. You got to want it for yourself. If you don't show up with want, I'm wasting my time.
And that's the point. They really don't want to do better and be better and get better and bring solutions to the problems they face. They want to fixate over the problems so they can have a sensationalized inner space and distract themselves from what needs to be done.
And now all that proves is that the system's working just fine.
Right.
Because
why we're enslaved.
It's able to disable you from evoking the God power you have. If you got a tinkering mind, you are an engineer. That's my mind. That was my dad. He had 4 or 5 cars all the time and was always fixing them. I hated fixing those cars. But he probably should have been an engineer. But he grew up in fear too. So it's okay to be in this condition. It's not okay to stay there, especially once you've been told otherwise.
No, once you've been shown otherwise. It's one thing to be told otherwise. When you've been shown, you really have no excuses.
The thing is that we're so paralyzed and don't even know it. And that's where I got, I guess, a little more patience. You deal with these folks every day. I don't. So I'm looking at it in regards of trying to coach you from where you are, not where you need to be. And when we're sharing this energy, because that's the big thing, is this sharing of energy. That's what this communication is. Even though we're not physically touching or nothing like that, you're getting the energy that we have to give because these are the experiences that we are sharing with you. So the thing to do is, you take it for what you want to take it for. You're going to do, you're a grown-ass man. You're going to do your life your way. And I encourage you to do so. We're here, in my opinion, fellowshipping about what we've done and experiences we're going through and trying to inspire others to think differently. Because it's all in
but
your
it starts with the feelers, Steve. You may not have that countenance. It may come easier for you. You may have just transmuted it earlier. I don't know. Again, when I look at someone like you probably can't relate to the majority of folks who come here. I can, because I've been a broken child, lazy, procrastinating, overweight motherfucker all of my life. You don't seem like you've been that. You seem very type A, very self-starter, very motivated, very ambitious, very self-confident and capable. I didn't have that walk. I had to build that, and I'm still working on it. So when motherfuckers come here, it's not that I don't have patience. I know me when I'm looking at the mirror, and I'm not going to play to any emotional appeal, right? The reality is my journey didn't start till I accepted, like I said, my own cowardice and my inaction. My journey didn't start until I got really real with myself and others and started to practice the opposite. And there's no other space of beingness for someone like that that's going to suffice, I contend.
The big word you said was acceptance. We have to accept where we are. There's the fantasy that we create, thinking that we're safe, thinking that we're comfortable, thinking that things are going to work out. That's a fantasy. You have to accept that the world is what you make it, not what's happening to you. If things are happening to you, you're not doing and exercising your power. That's your fault. You got to own that shit, not me. So once you accept your world, then you start vision and thinking of the world you want and desire. And like I said, you seem like a tinkerer. So tinker. Build the clean energy motor that you can build. If you took a weed eater and made it run on HHO, literally fill up the tank with water, what kind of business do you create?
Does he believe he could do that? Because again, we have to start at the foundation, the subconscious. His conscious mind has already revealed he doesn't believe he can have success in himself and in this life because he will be attacked more. So this is my point. He can't move forward into that space till he recognizes his fear and subconscious has been his biggest impediment, not the masters. This is what they're here to teach us. These masters of darkness are here to test and teach us we're our own biggest enemy and enslaver. We're also our own biggest ally and freer, right? Liberator.
Yeah, and you can. So you already
If I
said you got a
invented
different model that.
a car that ran on water, I would be dead tomorrow.
Hold on.
Even
not a car.
You see,
not
Steve,
a car.
this is the point: is
Just
we
a
can't
weed
do
eater.
anything. He can't do anything until he lets go
Hold
of the
on.
fear space that
Hold
plagues
on,
him.
but let me help him.
He's got every reason why everything he should do, he won't do because of what might happen.
No, I got that. But here's a solution. You have to have the military stand down on your name so you can file a probate case and file the documents. And I have them that you can file to tell the military to stand down in your name. That'll stop you from getting killed, because that's what stopped me from getting killed.
Guess what, bro? Let's take it back to ground zero. Nothing's going to stop you from getting killed or dying, because we're all dying and we're all leaving. So you better face your death in order so you could truly live, because nothing is promised and you could die at any moment, and you ain't going to get to control how that happens. All you can control is how you live from now till then.
I also can judge people, and I can decide that are these people deserving of what I would develop? And I say absolutely.
Well, hold. Stop right there.
Again, you're doing it again. That's fascinating.
You are doing a self-fulfilling prophecy. You are self-fulfilling that you will fail. That's exactly what you just said. Are these people deserving? Or do you deserve to create it? That's the bigger thing. If you got the vision, why the fuck wouldn't you? And then once it's created, then let's talk about who you give it to or who you show it to. But until it's created, you ain't did shit.
The point is, when you're a victim consciousness person, you're constantly vacillating between not doing anything because of what might happen to you and not doing anything because of what they might think about you or what you might think about yourself. You're living for everyone else but yourself. Because I guarantee you got a traumatic upbringing story. So you're doing the whole, I'm going to ruin my life so that daddy can feel something about it, right? Daddy's not worthy of me becoming the man I need to be. I'm going to like self-sabotage so he can like feel something about it, right? It's not about all the other people. An inventor doesn't wake up in the morning and do what he does because of what other people are going to think and feel about him or what he does. He does it because it's his purpose and where he finds the most value and meaning in himself and in life.
Well, what happened to Nikola Tesla? You know,
okay. See, we're wasting our time here right now because he's not willing. You're not accepting that we have answers you don't have for yourself, and you don't want to. See, again, this is why Steve.
You're finding excuses as to why you don't want to do what you need to do. Go build 12 of your inventions, put them on the shelf, and then
he's not going to do it. If fear runs his life, he's okay being a coward because he's okay being a coward because he's an intellectual coward and he has all the mind reasons why he should never begin to live and succeed.
Let me make you a proposition.
What's that?
I will build something. And what is that gonna bring? I can build something. Absolutely. I have ideas. If I build something, what is that going to provide for you? How, is anybody going to believe me? Nobody believes anything. If I build something, do you want it? Do you need it?
That's the point.
See, I've done products before. I've done fitness products. I know exactly where you are. When we built our fitness product, it was not perfect. The inventor, we got to do this. We got to do that. It's like I didn't invest to have the perfect product. I invested to make money. So when I invested, let's go get a return on that investment, i.e. pay me back, and then we can perfect it as we go because it was functional when I jumped in. It was functional, usable. I used it. It worked. So let's keep going. We got just like the iPhone comes out, they got the next one, and the next one. Whatever you build, just build the fucker. Once it works, then you market it. And that's what you do. But whatever you do, don't stand there and give a 1,000 excuses of why you won't build it. Build the fucker. You build a weed eater, a lawnmower, or something that runs on water, that runs on an internal combustion engine right now. If you just made it run on HHO, you can go to Roger Billings' website and he's got the whole formula on how to build an HHO engine.
The point is that in anything that you're going to create or build, you're also in the process of rebuilding yourself. So it's not only the endeavor of what is in front of you that you're going to do to get XYZ. It's the understanding of self that the more you dedicate yourself to certain things and create, the better you'll become as a man. It's just the nature of the way things are.
The way you saying that, I say it, once you find your God purpose, it'll free you from everything. That's how I interpret exactly what he just said. You just need to go into your God purpose, i.e. getting in better touch with God, which is getting in touch with yourself, which means overcoming your fear and then operating in peace and doing what you know you can do.
See, that's perfect down there. When they tell me I'm still a kook, but I'm doing a good broadcast, that's how I know it's a good broadcast. First of all, I didn't need you to tell me that. I could feel it before I could see it and hear it. But the reality is I'm not down on that. You know, if you're a hater and you think I'm crazy and you're still here watching, telling me this is good, I'm doing what the fuck I'm meant to do. So thank you for that acknowledgement. I appreciate that.
Good shit.
Being equitable in your own way.
Hold on a sec. I got to get this.
Good shit happens when you got good people involved with you, right? Who understand what it means to be good, better yet great. Your thoughts, expert panel, while Steve takes a call. I think we got Unite and Create for Life up here now. We haven't heard from him. He has something he wants to put forth.
I want to show my face, say hello, show that I'm actually here with you, not just a random viewer. But I'm on the train right now. Just lots of noise.
See, people have to understand where I come from with this perspective. It's going to seem very arrogant and egotistical. I get that rap all the time. It's basically Jack Talcott when he shows up to the monastery with most folks. I go, I am you, we're oneself, and now you're going to have to devote to the understanding that your understanding doesn't work, because if it did, you wouldn't be here. So you're going to have to basically give yourself over, not to me, but to a process. We're going to outline the process, and you're going to give yourself over to it. That's your commitment. That's your discipline. That's your devotee aspect, right? That's why they call me a cult leader, because they think I'm culting for my own ego and purposes. If I am culting, it's to build a culture that works for you, the individual, lead you back to your truest self, the same self that I found in me. So the same thing I'll tell Jennifer or anybody else. You're not submitting to me. We're all submitting together to an idea, a purpose, and a process. Through that, we will be bonded. We will reach an understanding and acceptance, and we will reach a state of communion and co-creation. There is no other way around it. Your ideas and your big brain hasn't figured it out yet. And this has already been put down for thousands of years. You discover it, you understand it, you apply it, you get results, and then you communicate it to others if they're willing to walk the path. If not, go away from me. I never knew you. I have nothing to offer you else here, and you have nothing to offer me, quite frankly. So you could take that however you want to take it. I have a main purpose and reason and meaning for why I'm here, and it works for everybody if you work it. If you don't want to work it, then we can't work together. And that's why you'll see so many people break bad against me as well, because they're with it till they're not. Their heart's not all the way in it, and they don't understand the value that's going on here. If they did, they wouldn't question it, and they definitely wouldn't avoid it. It would be their spring in the desert, right? Is what I would describe it as, like they have from the beginning of time. The Purian spring. It'd be like being in a desert and coming upon a pure spring of water. You'd be a fool to avoid drinking from that spring and also filling your cup on your journey. Your thoughts, Steve?
I missed it. I was on the phone. What was the question? What was the statement?
I was just kind of, throwing it out there that when I come here, what kind of the energy and the attention is at certain points, especially, and that if you want to call it egoic and arrogant, fine. Just listen and then just practice and then come back and report to me, right? Anything else other than that, I'm really not going to be open to too much of the interaction, because I just believe, better yet know, that there's one truth, one life, one way here. We're going to walk that or we're not. If you don't want to walk it with me, not for me, for you, then I don't want to walk with you, right? So it's kind of like you got to come here prepared to do some kind of internal work and to make a change. The conversation root word is conversion. If you're not here to make a conversion in yourself and in life, what the fuck are you doing here? The only thing left is bullshitting ourselves and each other, being seen and heard and looking for attention.
Amen. There's the thing with we got centuries of a mind fucking that we have to overcome. And it isn't complicated what needs to be done, but it is challenging in the regards of most of us don't have these skills. These skills are developed with me with circumstances, as with you, circumstances, and then choosing. You just have to choose where you want to go and how you want to do it. This life gives you what you get put into it. If you don't put nothing into it, you ain't getting shit. This is bottom line. I am, there's no one ideology, and the biggest thing to understand is to operate in the middle, because that's where everyone's at. There is the polarization they talk about all the time. That's because they polarize the fucking thing. They sit there and say, "Oh, these Republicans are polarizing, Democrats are polarizing." They control both sides. They need you on the poles. They don't need you in the middle, because when you're in the middle, that's where everybody fucking is. Nobody's extreme, not on a massive scale. Yes, there are extreme people, but they always make sure they get the camera. They always make sure they're the ones that's on the radio, because they want you to believe the extremes as opposed to where 90% of the people are, which is in the middle. That's why are people in the middle? Because the nature of human beings is to operate in peace. War does nothing for no one. 9 times out of 10, you're only dealing with the less than 1% that just want to own and control shit. Everybody else is perfectly fine. Look, I like that I don't have to walk down the street with a gun. I like that my family can leave the house in the dark and not have to carry an AK-47 with them. That's freedom to me. But this shit where they control everything you do and like, oh, you can't build this or you can't build that. You build what you want. If you really maximize the power of people, we're on other planets right now. We're not sitting here just fossilizing in this bullshit. But it's choice and the gift of free will, and we just have to learn the powers in us and start using that power. And just literally just quit fucking around and get to work. Work on yourself.
I got to screen someone here real quick, Steve. Let me first thank a couple folks. Cheney, what do you got for me, man?
Suck my dick!
Great stuff.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was only a matter of time, right? I could feel it coming from the beginning. I knew that it would show itself more than it already kind of has. And that's the nature of this game, right? The more that you're having a inspiring, empowering, entertaining exchange, focused and present.
Dry cell.
Great stuff.
This is an HHO dry cell that I built. HHO dry cell. I know it looks retarded.
Well, there you go. I mean,
we're done. You already got the cell, bro. So put it in.
Not only that, but I did.
You're like an X-Men superhero, and you're tricking yourself out of position. You're like the professor, man.
This is a weed eater with a drill that I made. Hold on, I'll show. Let me take it down off this shelf. What's my butt like?
By the way, I just want to be clear. That last person, I just got the confirmation. That is, in fact, a United States citizen, and they think we're crazy for upholding God-given rights and freedoms and speaking about consciousness and awareness. So all that screaming and yelling, suck my genitals, that's pretty much how the majority of the public conducts themselves. I got to... Real quick, sir, real quick.
Drill.
All right, real quick. I got to thank Justin. He says, for constant value, I appreciate it. Thank you, Justin, for your contribution. George McElroy says, thank you for throwing Snap Fool out. You don't have to thank me, sir. It just seemed to be the right thing to do at the time. And yeah, I'm not disappointed about it now, having said that. Thank you, Mr. Shively. He says, appreciate all you do, sir. Stay shining. Thank you. Same to you as well. Mr. Shively. Jimmy Shively.
Here comes the money, 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 money.
All right, relax, please. Get a hold of yourself.
What does that weed eater? What does that weed eater do?
That weed eater is connected to a drill, connected
It eats
to
weeds, Steve.
inverter, and that's a homemade generator that I made to test out some of my stuff. And I would like to do more testing, but I'm limited. But anyway,
We could test that weed eater out on Snafu Snaps, like kind of tie him up and see how good it is.
Yeah.
Well, my first thought is the weed eater. You just need to get a functioning weed eater that runs on water.
I filmed this.
Is it
I got
HHO?
it working on gas, but I want to do HHO. But I did some other things. I got new ideas, and I've tried to show people, and I've even got censored by people that said they don't censor people by showing them this shit.
Yeah, we know,
HHO
sir.
show,
I know.
You know what I mean?
I get it. I totally get the censoring thing.
Simple. If you've already built the cell, now put it in a functional device and sell that device.
Yeah, and I got censored.
Don't worry about it. No. Just locally. Go to your local shop. Say, I got this. I got
They
an
don't
HHO
understand
deal.
that. They're like, get out of here, you schizophrenic fucking mongoloid.
Out of your imagination, they told you that. You must be on.
I fucking talk to people. I've tried.
You pull the cord that starts, and you show that you pour water in the tank, and it runs. I don't give a fuck who they are. You go to the log team that's cutting over there at the Walmart. You go talk to those guys and show the guy that owns the company. I got you. That's the sell. I'm saying to you, put it in a functional device and go sell it to somebody direct. Don't even worry about selling it online or to other people, because you need to have some level of return so you can get started.
Yeah,
because that's
I
the
know.
thing.
That's what I was trying to do. Is
You'll get me jumping into your project if you show me a functioning unit. I'll jump in and help you if you show me a functioning unit.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
You got to have private investors behind the scenes before you go public. That way you have a foothold in it.
Well, you got to have a market too. So you got to sell it. But I know who you can sell it to, because I got these long guys that come and do my neighborhood every fucking summer. I know the guy that owns the company. If you showed him a weed eater that ran on water, he's like, give me 50. Because he's got several trucks that run around town all damn day. You ain't got to go to no patent office. You ain't got to go do anything extravagant. Go to somebody that needs it, and you got their undivided attention. You get something working for his mowers, he might suck your dick. I'm telling you.
Don't count on that, Steve. You're gonna get him real excited. Don't count on that.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
And I don't know, man. I've lost faith in humanity, dude.
That stop. Faith in you. Because that's where faith begins. If you want to have faith in humanity, you got to have faith in yourself. If you don't have faith in yourself, fuck humanity, because you don't believe in the things. You're the fucking human. You're the first one you should believe in. But you got a dry cell, bro. I know what that is. I'm ready for you. Get that shit working. Show me how to put that on a Toro motor. I'll go over to my partner right here in KC, and we'll get that shit going.
Well, part of this is I've actually done so much experiment. I actually learned that neutrons are antimatter, and I could make this. You would actually need to do a little bit of a fusion reactor.
You already got your first 100 can spam offer, sir. Sir, I'm going to ask you to be quiet right now. You got your first offer, 100 cans of spam for whatever that thing was you just held up. And this is what I mean. There's a ton of value out here for you.
Look, that's a conversation you need to have with somebody else that's on your nerd level. I'm not on that nerd level. I understand the concept, so I'm with you.
No,
I don't even know all the
I'm not trying to
neutrons
nerd out,
and shit
sir.
like that. I don't need. Okay, well, you did. So
Yeah,
I'm saying
no,
to you, that's
yeah,
cool.
No, I
Steve
know.
had a choice in life. It was either continue to get pussy or learn about neutrons, and we know which one he
Yeah.
chose.
Well, anybody. I mean, the dumbest motherfuckers seem to be able to get fucking vagina nowadays. Like, what the
That is
hell?
true. Look at me.
Yeah, because they're giving it out like cotton candy. But nonetheless, the point is look, I feel that you're combating your faith and your fear. And just like you just said, you lost faith in humanity. You didn't need to have faith in humanity. You needed to have faith in the zombie. That's what you need to have faith in. Once you got faith in you, you'll figure out how to help humanity. And you may not be able to help them, but you know what? If you help this cat save 70% on his fuel consumption every year, I promise you, he's running to get as many of these things as he could get on as fast as you can make them. Because again, this is something that you got to put out there that people don't know they need it.
Well, I will tell you what my most powerful weapon is. It's called the sword of the spirit and the armor of faith and the buckle of truth. You know,
some kind of S&M setup or something?
My most powerful weapon is the sword of the spirit. It does not draw blood.
I don't know if they help you. Okay.
It strikes them in their soul. Spiritual weapon.
Okay. If that works for you.
That works. That'll work.
But
I don't even understand.
You
Can I
just need
touch
to go.
the spirit? I don't even know. Can I touch the spirit? What do I know about the spirit world? What do I know something about HHO? But what do I know about spirits and demons and gods and is that even
okay?
Can I touch that? Is that real?
Pause.
The spirit touches you, sir.
Pause. Don't worry about that. Get your HHO working and don't stop making up excuses. Go do what your purpose is. You do your purpose, all those answers will come on your journey.
If you do not go forth with your talent, you will not be rewarded. And as soon as you go forth with your talent, you'll find your reward.
That's the Wiz, man. Wiz, I gotta say, you've been killing it for me. Thanks, Paul, for introducing me to Wiz, because probably the most unbelievable, knowledgeable, fact-finding, researching sumbitch I've ever met. You've killed it.
Well, you should be. You didn't do anything else all day.
He's a master.
I'm glad I got a good mic now, though.
I love you, brother. I don't know why I just did that. Can we get back to me?
He's a master.
Yeah, man, Wizard had a long time in the game, and he's like really motivated to read all these codes. He's everything I needed here in certain ways because I'm not that, and I don't plan on being that.
I promise you that the insight he's given me, it's like when Ham and Burger came together, when French and Fry got together. Man, he's been absolutely everything to me. I've been needing him for a minute. So, like I said, I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow in my cases. Game changers. Game changers.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out how to order shit from Amazon using his fucking social security card. He has to know a lot. I
already did it.
All the ins and outs.
Did I tell you I did that?
I just bought a potato peeler with my name yesterday. I go, okay, if you're into that, I'm pretty sure it's black magic, but
I swear to God,
get something in this.
I got $2,200 worth of bar seats at my bar in my basement from Amazon and didn't pay a dime for them. Bought it off my Social Security. I've done
He's got Bridgestone tires there. He's got some invoice for Bridgestone. He didn't even own anything that takes Bridgestone's tires. That's part of the wrap when you buy shit with your Social Security. You have a room full of shit you don't even use because you got it for free, non-free, right? It's got all the reasons why this shit is legitimate.
I got a case of garlic powder too.
Yeah, I got 42-ounce olive oils in the back, a whole case of them. I got them with my person. So take one on your way out, right?
I got 10 bottles of bleach.
I didn't know Tide comes in 10 gallon. That's not even at Costco.
You should buy 100 cans of Spam.
Yeah, you're right. I should have got me. If I could ever stomach eating Spam, that's the worst shit ever.
You imagine being Wizard's drug dealer? He never comes with cash, only with a person or like 10 gallons of Tide. You always got to work a deal with him. Like, all right, bro, I'll give you a couple pieces because I got to do laundry anyway. I'm going to buy that shit, so I'll give you credit.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, you haven't lived till you've seen that process. We used to have a crackhead would come to the spot and bring Pokemon cards. He brought a fucking payphone one day. He would bring shit that you didn't even have, like probably legally. He bring a payphone one day. He brought a fucking fire extinguisher. I go, bro, what are we gonna do with that? And then you got to try to find a way to like legitimize how that's valuable, right? Like how you're gonna get value. I will keep the fire extinguisher around in case the house goes on fire.
Well, yeah, fire extinguisher. You need that. If I'm working on vehicles and they catch on fire, yeah, I need a fire or water or something like shit.
Bro, he came one day with Pokemon cards, a fire extinguisher, and Spanish Fly, which used to be this fucking liquid that men would like rub on themselves to try to get women in the mood. And I go, what are we gonna? What do you do with this? Like a crackhead cash. Who knows where he stole that shit from?
Shoot, we need to use this on that. We need that Spanish Fly for this crazy girl. Never mind, sorry.
You could use that. See, he could use that.
Should have seen the landlord's property manager when he came over today. Went over the lease agreement. Now,
the guy in chat wants to know how you're squatting. He's on you. He said you're squatting. You ain't paying rent. What's the deal with that? How's that ethical?
Well, yeah, that's right. I'm squatting. I've been sitting all day. I can't stand up either. Well, I can. But
He's doing it again. Double talking.
So yeah, we let them know we agree to the rental agreement as a credit agreement upon informed use of credit.
So basically, you're never going to pay them anything. Is what I'm getting at this over and over again. Is you never plan on giving them anything.
Well, if you understand how circulation works, when you understand how circulation when you understand how circulation works, you can put money out from a bank, but it never goes back to that bank. It always goes somewhere else until it gets destroyed. That's not circulation. Credit works in circulation, folks. What he puts out always comes back. Aren't you supposed to be an image and likeness
of math?
Yeah, this guy doesn't like you. Who's the Jew broad with the Tommy picture there? What's the guy's name again? Pesci. Yeah, he doesn't like you, and he's got it in for you. He says, "Yeah, but you have good intentions." Ha ha ha.
He just doesn't
saying
like
you're a fraud, like Mitchell Wizard. They're all saying you're frauding.
Who's fraud?
I'm going to snitch on my father. I'm going to snitch to my father in heaven. Remember?
Oh, he's snitching.
He's using the Bible to pay rent. That's they're really pissed. Like there's a mob forming. There's a mob with pitchforks and torches, and they're like, we don't know how this guy's paying his rent with the Bible, but it has to stop. It's ungodly. We're gonna drag him out here. Yeah, the townspeople are upset with you, Wizard. They want you to be in the same position as them. Just fucking pay like everyone else. Stop it.
And when you're paying that rent and all that, and you're using those debt instruments that you have to negotiate, it's telling you don't have a negotiation already in place and accepted as a peace treaty, as a tax treaty with the Postal Service. They're the ones with the Real Estate Investment Trust. They're the ones that handle all transfers of all property. I don't know what to tell you.
On that, and this is the thing I was concluding. I meant to call you Monday, but I got to running. I was thinking about doing the post office stuff that we were talking about doing for the instrument. And because of what you gave me for the court, I said, there's no need to do that. I just take over the court.
That's what I was saying. You create your own document.
That's the post office.
Right, and you special deposit it with the international trust that you already have set up on the enterprise
At the
payment
court.
system. Yep.
Yeah, the reality of the situation is you're never going back and forth with them or arguing with them. There's nothing to defend or argue about. You're trying to bring them back to the idea that that is your court and it's your jurisdiction, and they need to serve you.
Right, and
And
that's
I'm
a
saying-
minor child. That's a minor child, and you can come in and just like they do with all of their stuff, adopt the case, and then that's when you attach your amendments to it, your statements and qualifications for the supplemental information, and put it as special deposit in your postal account. Now they have to create a postal docket.
So that's the thing, is that I've already taken over my probate case. It's mine. The judge does not interfere anymore. That when I send him shit, he just files it. The thing is they're not executing, and that's what I'm praying that getting to.
And this is always the problem with these courts, is even when you get them in the right position to do what they're supposed to do on record, now you have the next problem of trying to get somebody to execute the fucking orders because they're so
Correct.
derelict in their duty and corrupt.
That's where I'm thinking what Wiz gave me was absolute game changer. Because if it works like we think it's going to work, then they're going to equity and they don't have a choice. And once they go to equity, I've already put the commands in for what I want. So
well, that's what he said before. Comes down to is if nobody will then execute the order, then you put the people above them on notice. Hey, what good is the order if nobody will execute it? We got dereliction of duty from top to bottom. Then they're going to have to get on their inferiors and tell them, hey, you know what you got to do, man. You know.
But that's what we're going to see, though, because again, when you evoke the way that this is evoking it, I don't see how they cannot do it without just saying, "Go fuck yourself. We got a gun." That's the only way I can see they could tell me no.
Well, that's next. Unless people are working on it.
Yeah, there's no logical way for it within their rules or within this process of how they create, because they created all this shit. This ain't shit that I wanted or Wiz wanted. This is just, we're playing the game the way they designed it. And so when you break their back, we're about to find out what they're going to do. And that's why I'm staying locked down for the next couple of days, because I don't want to take.
Yeah, part of the game too I found is it's common sense. It's just life. The less you'll go away, the more that they're going to have to deal with you. Right. So it's like anything. If you buy a product and you want to get a refund, the majority of slaves, they say, no, we can't do it. And they walk off. If you sit there and you tell them this is unacceptable, this is what your policy says, you know what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to leave there with your refund after long enough. If for no other reason, because they can't tie up the organization playing with you all day, arguing over $80. They're just going to cut you the check and say, call it a loss. We account for losses every month anyway.
Mine's not a little check. It's pretty
well, big. You know what I'm saying is if they got to see Steve Martin every day for the next fucking however many years, after a certain point, they go, he's not leaving. He's not going to stop. Give him his whatever, because it's going to cost us more in time, energy, attention playing with him. And he's going to get the wool pulled over the other slaves' eyes, right? Pulled back over the other way. So it's just not beneficial for their pimp game. They rather cut one hoe $1 million and tell her go off than expose to the rest of the stable how you're going to lose 10 million over the next 5 years.
Wiz, oh, he don't know. I'm telling you, they let me go. They let me through. It breaks their shit.
Well, part of the problem is they know that you're a tell it, don't sell it guy. So they know once they cut you the check, you're going to go tell the other 10 hoes how to do it anyway. So they're kind of in a no-win situation with you. You're a lot like me.
Well, the thing is we follow up with that writ. The writ we used to, was it Satora? Which writ is it? Q something?
Co-warranto.
Co-warranto. That exposes all the shit they've done. And I put in the fee schedule for the fines, which are all published. They're all federal fines. I already put all that shit in there. So that exposes them and their liability of what they got to do. So that's what I'm trying to say is that this shit, it's going to break some shit. That's why they're being such dicks about it. complete. I promise you, if you'd heard, I got hung up 5 times today. Talked to the administrator, talked to the clerk, talked to 3 or 4 clerks. Every single soul hung up on me. And then when we're trying to get through the shit, the administrator clearly was somebody's nephew, cousin, or something, because this sumbitch just didn't know shit. And, you know, he literally told me, stop calling here, or I'm going to get the attorney general on you. I was like, call him. Get that motherfucker over. Have him come to Kansas City, come get me.
The attorney general has more authority over common law than the statutes. He has a higher duty to common law than he does statute. And again, that's the entrance to equity. Equity was merged with common law.
Right, that's the point. Is the whole thing thrives off us being afraid of a system that's supposedly there to protect us. So he's probably reverse pimping you. You better stop calling her. I'm gonna call XYZ. The more that you push that line, the more he's not going to get what he wants, because once he gets made aware of what's going on officially, he has a duty to act. That might be the best thing he could do, is go alert the higher ups of what the fuck they're doing and what's going on. That may be where you get some remedy.
Trust me, I was not intimidated at all. I'm like, okay, you dumb son of a bitch, go ahead and call somebody. I don't give a fuck. I said, you're holding my acquaintance against his will with no arresting document, no proper bond. You don't have anything. All of my documents I filed, you're ignoring them, because as soon as you address me as the administrator, the case is over. So everything I've done was double and triple down on shit that I've already done. I've already beat you from the first document because I came in as the administrator. Then you guys continue to try to ignore every fucking thing I put. And then I told the clerk today, I said, you better correct everything on the record, because right now they just got them all in his document. They don't have them in as they're titled. And I said, you better correct everything on the record, or you're looking at $250,000 fine for each instance. There's 12 instances. They're at 9.5 million right now in the fucking fine sheet that the government issued. I didn't make that shit up. It's one, and when I pull the numbers out of my ass, I'm at $10,000 per instant used name, because I'm the DBA of the name. So it's one of those. It's like I don't want to go too far out there, because I know they watch and do everything I do. They watch and monitor me. That's what I went through 2 weeks ago when they cut me off. They cut me off during the fucking show. I mean, it's amazing the shit they do to me. But this is just what it is. This is the environment. Just to let you know, Zombie, when you step out there, there's going to be some shit coming at you. But I'll help you, buddy, if you get the damn thing built. But I ain't fucking with you if you ain't got it built. I don't want to hear about theory. I want to hear it get done. And once it's done, we can move. And that's life, man. It just is what it is.
All right, let's wrap it up right there. I know that, Steve. So can I. But there's always tomorrow, right? Leave them wanting more, as they say. I think we had pretty. What now?
I don't know what the fuck I'm going to be doing tomorrow, because God willing, I'm be on a plane to Texas. So.
All right. Well, you can always do a check-in on the ground, right? Before and after. Keep us updated. On the ground correspondent, Steve Martin.
I'll text you and just say, yeah, bitches. How's that?
That works.
Well, hey, man. I hope you're not going to have you seen the weather out there in Texas right now?
Yeah.
Shit?
Well, my sister-in-law said it was ice where she's at. And that's where I'll go, because she's got to drive 3 hours to go get him and bring him to her place, and that's where I'll probably meet.
Well, that shit looks fucking like apocalyptic harp type shit going on there. So what's new, right? But
get a picture of the curve when you're up in the plane, okay?
I don't know if I'm going yet, so let's keep that clear too. So right. I mean, but I'm hoping, I'm optimistic, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I know what you're doing. You got one of them IG models flying you out. That's what that is.
OnlyFans.
IG, what the fuck is that?
Instagram. Come on, Steve, get with it. You're hip. You're cool. You're like one of the youngsters.
I'm right there on the cusp of not being cool anymore. So I still got the little swag, but I ain't fresh and fit. That's for sure.
All right, off the record, Steve. What's the most famous woman you've been with? Like 50 Cent. I'm sure you've been with like Vivica Fox, Megan Fox.
I met her.
Anyone else named Fox? I don't know.
I met
Hopefully
Vivica
Jackie
Fox.
Fox. Have you ever been with Jackie Fox?
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
All right. Well, you know or you don't.
What's
Most
that?
famous woman. Go ahead. Come on, Steve. Don't beat around the bush here.
I'm telling you, I met Vivica Fox when I was in Indy. I met Mariah Carey when I was in New York.
Oh, you're going to do this thing that they all do. Matt means fucked. He fucked Mariah Carey. He fucked Vivica Fox.
Wish.
Go ahead. He's going to say he didn't.
Hold on, me. I wish. I don't lie on my dick. I wish I could have. And
right, Steve. Steve met with Steve Martin, 6'3", 300-pound football player to talk legal lawful. Cut it out, Steve. You're being coy.
I would have put it on my website. You saw the bitches, the top notch chicks I fucked. I would have a website of the top shelf chicks Now I've had some nice women, but that's not the point. The point is I've never slept with a superstar, a movie star, or not like that. But I met a couple. Met Janet Jackson. That was
all your ex-girlfriends can definitely say they've slept with a superstar, so they have the benefit.
Not one yet, but I think I will be. I get this shit right. I'll be one. I don't want the fame. I just want to be free. So
right.
I see that fame cuts double edged, man. I don't like that shit. I seen it build you up.
Cat Williams.
In half. It is. Well, I think the most famous guy I played with was Randy Moss, and boy, they tore his ass apart for years, and then he had to sell out to the system because he wasn't going to get in the Hall of Fame if he didn't. So it is what it is. But no, I don't know. That's just notches on the bedpost. That's what it'll be. But
yeah, I'm just teasing with you. Give me the final word. We'll get a final word from everybody. I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back tomorrow. And of course, open door policy as always. I think it was a good energy here today. Good conversation, and numbers were fairly good. Fairly consistent. So that tells me something. I don't know what, but it tells me something.
Dude, you had better numbers than the fucking Associated Press's YouTube with their live stream, whatever bullshit they were live streaming about.
Doesn't surprise me. We're better than them, so it makes sense we'd have better numbers, even with a shadow banning and algorithmic twist. I accept that. That makes sense. The Associated Press.
Associated Piz.
Go ahead.
Be careful with those with that Bluetooth, man. I'm sure you know that is Bluetooth you're wearing there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
because
on.
Not my choice.
He's already taken enough about the Nike. I mean, leave the guy alone.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say I'm gonna pull a Snafu, but Snafu probably wouldn't bring that up because Snafu probably's got his own.
No, are you referring to the Vive G or whatever that goes through them?
Your brain.
No, he's saying it's a choking hazard, Steve. Don't try to eat it.
I understand that. Well, again, that's
help out a grown
another
man
subject I could get into with apple cider vinegar and baking soda about how it regulates your pH and balances your metabolism so that it keeps things level inside your body. But that's because I know I'm only going to be on this for this show. That's it.
You know how many people have told me you shouldn't consume the two because they basically neutralize each other and it just cancels each other out and it's worthless. I'm like, dude. But yeah, baking soda and apple cider, indeed. And you can just
I've been doing it. I've been doing it for 3 years. I started at 340 pounds and I'm 298. And it's kept the weight off. And I eat what the fuck I want. The bottom line is
so if you take two compounds that neutralize each other, use your reason and logic. Doesn't that make better sense to put something neutral in your body that would then help neutralize other things?
Fucking whiz. Always.
Are you using too much common sense?
So the thing is that this is something I have, like most things that I talk about. I've been doing this shit for 3 years. It works. My face cleared up. I don't have any boils no more. I don't get sick. When I get sick, it's only for 2 days, the maximum 3. I mean, I feel great. I lost fat.
Will I get an extra 3 inches down there like a lot of these emails claim? I get a lot of these emails. They keep telling me, you must watch the broadcast. They'll say, I promise an extra 3 inches if you take our concoction. Is there any hope for that for a lot of folks out there who need help with that?
I don't know anything about that doing it. I'm 9.5, so I don't need anything more. I'm good to go.
Oh,
so
You look like my
What if
pops.
I get a
Steve, I'm
couple-
not
all
gonna
right,
lie.
you know what,
look like
Steve?
my
You
pops.
just get the hell out of here. You're just gonna come in here. Shut up, peanut power. You're gonna come in here with your 9.5-inch penis, start flinging it around, showing off. I'm sick of you. This is why I don't have football players and famous people, and especially black people on this panel. It's demeaning to me.
It was too easy. I had to jump on that. It was too easy.
Tell me this guy doesn't look like my pop, bro. It's fucking weird.
All right, give me the final word, please. I'm gonna go sit and eat in a depression, thinking about Steve's 9.5-inch penis, and then looking what I have to offer, as Talcott says.
I really want to appreciate Zombie. I really do appreciate you opening up and being honest with us about your situation. I hope what we said to you was inspirational and motivates you, because bro, you're sitting there with like a master craftsman, afraid to do its mastery. And I hope others that are potentially a lot of folks are in your shoes. You have a talent, and you just got to put that spark into the talent, and don't let anybody fuck with you in any way, shape, or form. You got everything you need, man. You just have to believe in yourself. That's it. You believe in you. The rest is pudding. But I really want everyone to try to find the best part of themselves and be that. You don't have to be what anybody tells you got to be. They told me I wasn't going to make it, and I did. And they telling me I'm crazy, I'm doing this shit. But look, I'm literally breaking down the walls. And it's somewhat scary, but exciting at the same time. But change always is. It's never easy. So believe in yourself first before you believe in anybody else. And once you know where you are and who you are, there's nothing that'll stop you in this life but you. So get out of your own way is basically what I'm saying. But I wish you the best, Zombie. I really do. And thank you for having me again tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
Other final thoughts?
Powerful energy here today. I just wanted to hold down a square. There was some trolls coming in, and I really am honored to be up here with y'all. And thanks again. Keep doing the good work.
All right, sounds good. I'm throwing you out. Once you get final words, I'm throwing you out. Even Steve Martin.
Holler.
Very
Be well.
important.
Shout out to
love you,
Wiz, by the
Steve.
way. All right, guys,
Absolutely.
take care.
Yeah,
All right.
Steve, we'll talk. All right, well, Smashing Pumpkins put out a song as a still just a rat in a cage. Yeah, despite all your rage, you guys are just still a rat in a cage. And when it comes to that cage, look up the term cage as an acronym, all caps, CAGE.
At all my rage.
That's the commercial and government entity. That is the rat in the experiment. You're giving them the data elements. Quit. You know I love you, but I don't give a rat's ass whether you love me back. That's to say, I don't care if you hate me.
Drop the bomb. Drop the bomb on them. Final words.
As always, great show. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you having you here. Appreciate you being here. Excuse me. I'm stuttering at this point. I'm mumbling. I'm famished. Getting lightheaded from lack of calories or diabetes, pre-diabetes. All right. Shalom. I'm throwing you out. Daddy's chosen rabbi. Yeah. Daddy's court appointed auditor. We could save you for last because you're restreaming. Why not? Zombie creature. I see you got a big Trump tard sign there. That's good to see. Great stuff. Go ahead and give us a final word, if you will. Touch the people. Not in that way. Spiritually. Got you in trouble last time.
My name's Zombies. I think everybody's a zombie. You're all infected with brainworms. Yeah,
That
I
is
guess I'm out.
you.
That's
Okay,
you.
sorry, I'm retarded. I'm gonna go. I love
Is
y'all.
that
Bye.
you?
Thank you.
That's
okay. Yeah. Wait.
That's you.
Wait. Okay, thanks. But thank you very
Do
much.
you
bud.
know where you are right now?
Do you know where you are right now?
Probably not.
All right, get the hell out of here, zombie. Go treat your brainworms. Shawnosaurus, you're out of here. Let's go. Make it quick. Final words.
It's been fun and it's been real, but it hasn't been real fun. No, I'm just kidding. It has been. I appreciate you, sir.
God damn it,
awesome.
Sean.
It's awesome having Steve up here, man. And that's why I wasn't contributing a lot because I was just, it was a receptive day. It was a absorbing.
You were a
day.
receptacle today for Steve? Steve's
Right.
receptacle?
Right.
Great.
And
That's
like
perfect.
Brielle said, she was honored to be up here. We were horny to have you. We were honored to have you up here too. And we love you. We love all the. Well, I'm not going to speak on behalf of Paul, but I'm sure he loves all the Patriot wives, especially when they come up. That being said, peace, prosperity, pineal power. Broken scrotum, broken taint. Much love, brother. And I'll see you guys soon. Take it easy.
Thank you, Sean.
And then there were two.
Don't make this creepy.
Well, thank you, Breezy, for coming up. Wonderful. I'll restream anytime she wants to come up and have her on my channel. That's
Don't start
fantastic.
simping either. That's part of the don't make it creepy thing, right?
Right.
Yeah, you're
Right.
doing it again. You're doing it.
So, and then hopefully we can get back to Slavin because I believe he was at the part where he was about to say he was a sovereign citizen, which is like the best part of that clip. But we can save that for a different time. But restreaming success. No porn bombs tonight. Fantastic. And then look forward to coming back talking about rights and freedoms and stuff like that because that does get me pumped up and passionate. So appreciate
All
that.
right, relax. Go pump up somewhere else. And we'll get back to what we're doing here. This guy's pumped up. He's pumped out. He's simping on Brielle. What else is new with these people? We love him. We love him. That kid's, I don't know. He's a little bit of a wild card. But, yeah, Slavin. We'll get back to Slavin, all the rest of the hijinks tomorrow if you'll be around and others. We didn't get to break in slave news or cop shooting citizen slaves, whatever. We took a break from that today. You know, we're on the fly here. We kind of do whatever is apparent. We flow with whatever comes forth. And that seems to be the best way to be. Generalized structure and then fluid and dynamic, life on life's terms. So resounding success, of course. No official sign off today. You know what my new thing is now? I kind of like the outro sign off. Like it's really all about me again. Because like I'm into that. And I really like Gorilla Gems and Talcott Clip Collection and their videos they put together. So sometimes here nowadays, I might not even sign off. I'm just so fucking powerful and important, you know? And I just leave you with just me, just more of me in clipped up form. That kind of inspires and empowers others and reveals truth. So, you know what? I should have did that tonight. Mazel, all you freaks out there. And I'm giving you me on the way out. You know how this goes, right? There's levels to this shit. Standing on truth and not you bitch ass motherfuckers. Talk all this high power shit, want to act like they're righteous. You bitch ass motherfucker. I'm so sick of these people, bro. Never done a motherfucker thing and seemingly never will. You bitch ass motherfucker. First-hand experience can't be invalidated by the unknowing unbeliever. You bitch ass unexperienced. Are you kidding? Bitch ass. If it could, we wouldn't be here having these conversations because the devil would already have this place. You bitch ass motherfucker. God damn it. What we're talking so concerning to realize the majority of the public will just sit around and watch shit that's bitch ass meaningless and valueless that gives them no application in the world to change their life. You bitch ass motherfuckers. Experiential, observable, explainable, and demonstrable. What I represent in this thing, refocus, right? Re-energize. You bitch ass motherfucker. Do I want to go along to get to a bag? Or am I calling everybody out on how we've fallen short so we could get somewhere with this? Because if not, it's all over at some point. The question is when. You bitch ass motherfucker. So how are you changing to meet life on life's terms and provide solutions to the problems we face? You bitch ass motherfucker. If you're not doing that, you bitch ass motherfucker, well then I gotta step out into the front, into the leadership position. I gotta put a target on me. You bitch ass. I gotta do what won't be done. Bitch ass. Right? It's not that it can't be done, it won't be done because they're cowardly. You bitch ass motherfucker. You're gonna have to hold fast to who and what you are and what you know. You bitch ass motherfucker. I know I'm the enemy because of what I stand for, what I do, and what I'm willing to say. Bitch ass, and what I'm not willing to do and say. You bitch ass motherfucker. Punk ass bitches are riding around in their convertible. Bitch ass breathing in the toxic heavy metals. Bitch ass slave trails. You bitch ass motherfucker. I'm here. I'm calling everybody out. Anybody can get it. Gorilla season. Gorilla season. Anybody can get it. I'm here. So when are we going to get right for ourselves and each other and stop the content, non-tent, bit, non-bit, using all my words and lingo, trying to be me and do what I do, and then just wind up embarrassing yourselves and everybody? Because you ain't me. You haven't done the work I've done on myself. You haven't been honest and open and real with women and yourself. You haven't tried to cultivate a space where you reconcile your animal body and the primal nature and all that lust with some kind of level of objective care to do what's true and what's right. You haven't. And it's all over you.